Once a year at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, two schools reignite one of the great rivalries in HBCU football. A Florida A&M win today over their arch rival would help take the sting out of a turbulent season. A Bethune-Cookman win would be their fourth in a row over FAMU. It's the 2014 Florida Classic right now. Welcome to ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. From the newly renovated Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida, FAMU taking the field. They're technically the home team in this game this year for the 2014 Florida Classic between Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M. Look at the MEAC standings to the final day of the regular season. North Carolina A&T in the driver's seat to win the conference, but Bethune-Cookman would love to win a share. They would need a win today to do that and some help, and Florida A&M looking for a 500 conference season. So glad you could join us from what's been a little bit rainy Saturday in Orlando, along with former NFL quarterback Jay Walker. I'm Mark Neely. Tiffany Green down on the sidelines for us today, and we'll check in with her shortly. It's been an interesting year for both these teams, but whatever has happened in the past, this is the most important game of the season for both these schools today.
Just look at the story of the two programs. First of all, you had a coaching change in the middle of the season at Florida A&M, and Bethune-Cookman coming off an upset loss at the hands of Norfolk State. But Florida A&M's playing some of their best football, and Bethune-Cookman, it's reactionary time to see what type of team head coach Brian Jenkins truly has.
You know, for FAMU, their quarterback, Damian Fleming, he's a senior now. He has never beaten Bethune-Cookman. This is a huge game, not only for his school, but for his legacy.
And that's a surprise, because for the 4 years that Damian Fleming has been the starting quarterback at Florida A&M, he's been one of the upper echelon teams, but never beating your in-state rival can tarnish your legacy. He's playing football at a high level, 4 touchdowns a week ago versus Delaware State. They're going to need that type of performance from him today to pull off an upset.
Fleming playing very well, great arm, but FAMU is going to at least have to establish the run to have some success, and doing that against a Bethune-Cookman defense is extremely difficult.
Bethune-Cookman can be extremely one-dimensional at times, and they do that by completely eliminating your running game and controlling the line of scrimmage. LeBrandon Richardson gives them the ability to do that. He has big play potential from his defensive end position, 7 sacks on the season, 14 tackles for a loss, and the ability to chase down running backs from behind. Whenever Bethune-Cookman defensively comes up with a big player turnover, LeBrandon Richardson is normally right in the center of things.
A little bit of rain today, off and on. Bethune-Cookman, Brian Jenkins in his 5th season as the head coach. In the MEAC Coach of the Year 3 different times. Hoping to get at least a share of the conference title again. Bethune-Cookman coming in at 8-3 overall and 5-2 in conference play. And there's the interim head coach for FAMU, Corey Fuller. Took over on October 28th after their loss to North Carolina A&T. Is when Earl Holmes was let go. Tiffany Green, the 3rd member of our broadcast team. We'll check in with her just in a little bit as we're set to go, as FAMU won the toss and deferred kicking off to Bethune-Cookman to begin the game. And it's taken at the 8-yard line with a run all the way up across the 30 to the 35. A nice run back of 30 yards.
Right away, special teams trying to get a spark going. This is just return middle. Good job of finding a crease, and 1 touchdown saving tackle away by the kicker stopped Bethune-Cookman from driving an early lead.
Yeah, Marquise Drayton on the run back there. And here's Quentin Williams. I'm sure at some point we're going to see the other quarterback, Larry Brin, but Williams has the start. Good starting field position for Bethune-Cookman at their own 41-yard line. Anthony Jordan the back. Now they look to the sideline. Two receivers to the right side for Williams, who comes in with the 7 TD passes, 6 interceptions. He's keeping. Puts it up the middle, met at the 45. It'll give him forward progress up to the 46. So a gain of 5 on first down for Bethune-Cookman's first play of the day.
And you mentioned that we'll probably see Larry Brim as well. That's something that head coach Brian Jenkins does by design. Has a 2-quarterback system, never too reliant upon one person at that position of importance. unconventional the way that he does it, but he's had extreme success. You cannot argue with the numbers.
2nd down and 5. They send in motion Frank Brown. Now comes back to the near side. Keeping Williams to throw. Intercepted. Picked off at the 42-yard line by Blunt. And Akil Blunt all the way back up to midfield with the return. So the first big play of the game comes just a few plays in. The pick for Blunt.
Oh, things are getting testy down there. You see a good job by Blunt. Just going to read the eyes of the quarterback as he drops in coverage. Williams takes him right to the ball. Good job by Akil Blunt, the son of Mel Blunt of Pittsburgh Steelers fame. And he's been very active, really stepped up his game his junior season. And they say the reason why, it's been his study in the classroom and his preparation for the game paying off right away on this first drive.
Akil Blunt's been the leading tackler this year for FAMU, but that's his first pick. And then, as you mentioned, already some John going on. It looks like we have a personal foul after the return.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 9, White. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 6 on FAMU. Those penalties are offset. First down.
After the play, there's Dantzler coming onto the field to play defense, and then wow.
Oh. Now, so Dantzler gets away with 2 pushes. I mean, you saw him push Akil Blunt, and then you saw him push number 6 coming on the field, Curtis Alexander, the cornerback, leaving the field. Tough to have offsetting there. I think possibly should have been just penalties called on Bethune-Cookman.
So the first play offensively for FAMU, and an incompletion on the throw by Fleming. Damian Fleming, 16 TDs, 11 picks. And as we mentioned right at the top, this is a huge game for him today, the senior.
And he's had such a wonderful career at Florida A&M. This is something that's missing. Came to Florida A&M after recruiting out of high school, committed to go to Vanderbilt University, but they made a coaching change in James Franklin, and there's an opportunity for him to leave. They let him out of his letter of intent. What a find it's been for Florida A&M, and has an opportunity with a great game to become the all-time leading passer in the history of Florida A&M. That's quite an accomplishment.
Trying to break the records held by his offensive coordinator, Quinn Gray. Back to throw. Hurried and incomplete. Low at the 42, looking for Hearn. Third member of our team down on the field. Let's check in with Tiffany Green. Tiffany?
Well, Damian Fleming has been a mainstay at FAMU over the last 4 years, and he's excelled under 3 different head coaches. Jay, you referenced that he has the opportunity to become the all-time leading passer at FAMU, but the thing that he has not been able to do is beat BCU, and that's the thing that he's obsessed over all week and really all year. He said that a win today would solidify his tenure at FAMU, and Coach Corey Fuller is giving him the keys to the car, saying, we're going to let Damian Fleming throw it for as long as he's at FAMU until he walks out and graduates.
Well, that's right around the corner, and Quinn Gray, his offensive coordinator, said, hey, you know, I never lost to Bethune-Cookman, and now he's going to be brought down right near the line of scrimmage at midfield. Ronnie Barrow as well as Rakeem Knight. That's Knight, number 93. Eric Williams not able to play the first half for Bethune-Cookman due to a targeting penalty on him in their last game against Hampton, so that's significant.
Particularly when you've got a team that wants to control the line of scrimmage. So we thought Florida A&M may come out and try and establish the run, running away from LeBrandon Richardson. Instead, they come out with 3 straight passes. Unfortunately for them, 3 straight incompletions.
Colby Blanton to punt. They come after it hard, but he gets it away. And it's going to take a FAMU roll inside the 5, and it's going to be down at the 1-yard line. Blanton came in averaging 41 yards a punt. That's a 49-yard boot and backs up Bethune-Cookman.
There comes a moment in life when promise and possibility become reality. And when that moment comes, amazing things.
Chick-fil-A.
The rain park is today here in Orlando, off and on rain showers. And a little bit of rain falling right now here at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Second possession of the game coming up for Bethune-Cookman, but the Wildcats are going to begin this drive at their own 1-yard line after the 49-yard punt by Colby Blanton. Not quite 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter of this 2014 Florida Classic. And off to Jordan. He's going to give him a lot of room all the way across the 10 up to the 12-yard line. So a run of 11 yards. Rashad Guyton, the free safety, with the tackle on Jordan.
Talk about Anthony Jordan with the carry. Well, he's one of our impact players. They're going to need him to carry the load, to lighten it off of Quinn Williams and Akil Blunt. We've already seen his impact in this game thus far. These two should have an interesting matchup with Jordan trying to pound the football like we see right now, and Akil Blunt trying to be active and stopping the running game.
Deshaun Butler stopping Anthony Jordan there. As you mentioned, Blunt already with an interception in this game, and Jordan with back-to-back carries there to get him out of the shadow of their own goalpost. They have a first down at their own 24-yard line, so just like that. Now this time Jordan met by a wall right near the line of scrimmage.
You see the numbers for Jordan where 556 yards coming in. That's not eye-popping. Doesn't really say, oh, he's a fantastic back. He only emerged as a starting running back the last 4 games of the season, so he's averaging almost 5 yards per carry. That's very efficient at the running back position.
Might have gotten a little banged up there. Comes out of the game. They go to an empty backfield with 4 receivers. Actually do have a back. Bringing in Michael D. Jones, who's also played some wide receiver for the Wildcats this year. At the top of the screen. On 3rd down and 5. Showing blitz off the edge. Here it comes. Williams throws deep across the middle. Leaping attempt incomplete at the 45. The coverage there again for Bryant as the receiver Justin Henderson to the tight end goes up and got a hand on this.
Yeah, but a nice zone blitz here. You got the tight end covered underneath, and then up top Jox Bryant comes over number 18 to make a hit just to make sure that Henderson is unable to make the catch.
So Bethune-Cookman do pick up a couple of first downs. Started that drive at their own 1, but will punt. Jonathan Cagle. Devontae Johnson back at his own 35, and the play clock ran out.
There's no foul for delay of game. Bethune-Cookman called a timeout, their first charge timeout.
So the Wildcats get the timeout prior to the play clock elapsing. Well, the Florida State Seminoles look to extend their unbeaten streak in an ACC battle with Boston College. Saturday afternoon football, BC versus number 3 Florida State.
At Missouri, Tennessee, young quarterback Joshua Dobbs from Tennessee got a bright future ahead of him. He's starting to play football at a high level in the SEC.
Cagle's punt. And the left-footed punter gets it away, and a fair catch called for by Johnson at the 34. 37-yard punt for Cagle with no return. Second possession of the game for FAMU's offense. Interim head coach Corey Fuller. It's his 2nd year on the staff. When Earl Holmes was let go, Fuller named the interim head coach on the 25th of October. So the Hitman era did not last all that long, and now Corey Fuller and the staff that remains sticking it out through the rest of the regular season, which is ending today.
A lot of things taking place in Tallahassee that the eyes of the HBCU world are questioning, and I'm sure we'll talk about that earlier, but unfortunately for Florida A&M alum, Earl Holmes is no longer the coach, and Corey Fuller trying to make the most of his opportunity as a head coach.
Kept by Fleming. He pulled it right out of the belly of Hearns on that zone read up to the 39-yard line, picking up 5 before he's brought down by Marquise Drayton.
I think it's important right now this series for Florida A&M to establish that they're going to have the ability to protect Damian Fleming. And part of the reason why they've not opened up the offense completely has been because of lack of trust in the offensive line.
A hard count if Fleming got a few BC defenders to jump, but play clock running down to 11. Fleming looking right, throws, has his man wide open at the 42-yard line, and out of bounds there is Kareem Smith up near midfield, run out by Joshua Richardson.
This is what you get with a senior quarterback. Bethune-Cookman trying to disguise their coverages. Damian Fleming saw the coverage, anticipated where the blitz was coming from. Simple out route, 5-yard pattern, but able to make an efficient throw. At the top of your screen, he sees the blitz coming from the top, hits a completion, pick up the first down, move the chains. That's how you quarterback. That's how you quarterback. Doesn't show up as a flashy throw, but as a senior quarterback, that'll get the respect of Bethune-Cookman and maybe make them think about bringing pressure.
After the 9-yard gain, first down FAMU at their own 48. High snap, Fleming brings it down, hands it off to Hearns, but he is met. Nowhere for Hearns to go. In fact, he'll lose a couple of yards. Rakeem Knight, number 93, in to make the tackle.
Yeah, he's up close because it's a run play, but high snap, very fortunate just to get the ball in the stomach of the ball carrier. But Rakeem Knight at 6'2", 310 pounds. Hard to push him around in the middle of the field.
Knight seeing more time here in the first half with Eric Williams on the bench. Won't be able to play until half number 2, Williams, due to the targeting penalty last week against Hampton. Fleming rolling out, throws it underneath, and run out of bounds is the back, Hearns, right at midfield. Joshua Richardson, the cornerback, had him covered. Now Bethune-Cookman rush defense, you won't find any better in the FCS right now.
Yeah, less than 80 yards per game. And fortunately for Florida A&M, the game plan is not to run the football. It's to throw the football. So it becomes a matter of, can they protect their quarterback, and can Damian Fleming have another 4-touchdown performance day? Well, I think it's going to be tough because Eric Williams, who's been the other bookend opposite LeBrandon Richardson, is out for the first half. So I think it's important for Florida A&M to at least protect Fleming for the first half of this game, because you know Williams is going to come in and try to create havoc.
Blitz off the edge on 3rd and 8, throws it up. Flags at the 25. Looks like pass interference. Had 2 defenders in the area, including Joshua Richardson and Marquise Drayton.
Did you see the accuracy of the throw? I mean, if you're going to throw the ball in that window, you have to have a perfect throw. The safety's coming over to try and break it up, but look at this. The receiver still has a chance. Ball thrown perfectly outside shoulder. Nothing that the free safety could do to get there. Saying Richardson got there a little bit too soon.
And Norwood nearly came up with that. That's Brandon Norwood, the true freshman, who FAMU is extremely high on. He has a team-high 35 catches. Penalties, though, are not a surprise for that Bethune-Cookman defense and team in general. Most penalties in the MEAC.
And that's been the one thing that Brian Jenkins has not been able to get under control in his tenure at Bethune-Cookman. And kind of makes you scratch your head, but when they get in tough games, those penalties do show up.
FAMU a first down at the Bethune-Cookman 35 and a run for Hearns. Falling forward to the 29-yard line and picks up 6. The nice run for the freshman out of West Palm Beach, Florida.
And going back to those penalties, 3 penalties already called on Bethune-Cookman. The fact is, when they were upset by Norfolk State, those penalties kept, by Hampton, pardon me, penalties kept a couple of those drives alive.
Fleming keeping, swings it out into the flat and dropped. Kareem Smith may have started to take off before he had that one hauled in and lost the handle on it.
You can see the game plan from offensive coordinator Quinn Gray. He saw the footage of what Hampton did to Bethune-Cookman. They really set him up with a lot of sideways passes, forcing the Bethune-Cookman defense to spread out, and then took shots deep down the field. Didn't rely upon the intermediate passing games. They were either going balls deep downfield or taking balls extremely short, and that seems to be the game plan of Florida A&M today.
3rd and 4 for FAMU from the 29 of the Wildcats. Fleming retreats, and his throw underthrows the intended receiver at the 28-yard line. You had Corey Harris coming after Fleming. He just kept retreating. And it's 4th down.
There were wide receivers that were open, but because the offensive line couldn't protect, Fleming had to get rid of the football. They talk about a long field goal attempt.
About a 46-yard attempt off the right hash for Chase Varnador, the redshirt senior from Tallahassee. Out of the hole to Colby Blanton. Angling left, but it was possibly tipped there. Almost made it to the back line of the end zone, but came up short. And a 46-yard attempt fails for FAMU. Varnador gave it a good look, thought maybe, but came up short, and it stays scoreless.
Women love men that are groomed to the max.
ESPN College Football, the 2014 Florida Classic, is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Don't let the rain dampen the fan fest. Good lefty arm there, huh?
Bell 2 for 2. Nice rotation on that ball. He's just throwing it backwards from the left side.
Yeah. Well, after that 8-play drive for FAMU that stalled, Bethune-Cookman taking over at their own 29-yard line. And the run for Danny Dillard. Brim now in as the quarterback. What kind of difference do you see when Williams is playing quarterback and then Brim comes in?
Because Brim is a freshman, he's thinking run first, so they simplify the reads. He drops back. He's got those young freshman legs. If that first read is not there, he's taking off. Doesn't necessarily go through his progressions, which will come over time.
Williams, who started the game, right now on the sideline for the Wildcats. And a whistle right after the snap. What was going to be a design run there on the option for
Offense, number 57, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Left tackle Trevin Huff called for that, but that last one, the back Dillard was just going to block. That was full-out run for Brim there.
The young freshman legs.
Take a look at the play selection. Obviously, Williams has played more, so higher number of plays. After the penalty, back to where they started, a 2nd down and 10. Clock running, under 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score in this 2014 Florida Classic from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. And now the play clock runs out. Or did they get another timeout call?
Number 2,
yeah.
5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
They did not use the timeout and will take the 5-yard penalty. So,
and that's one that, you know, you shouldn't have. Coming off of a penalty, you have more time. That's just poor sideline management there. Those are those penalties why Bethune-Cookman continues to be one of the most penalized teams in FCS football.
So they go from a 2nd and 5 to 2 5-yard penalties later, a 2nd and 15. They have 3 penalties already for 25 yards. Being chased. Brim sacked back at the 15. Run down by Peter Tulloch. Safety coming on a blitz.
And there was miscommunication on this play. And the first sign you know that something's going wrong is when you do a play action fake to nobody. Watch this. Look who he's faking it to. To nobody. Then he's still trying to run. He didn't see the pressure where it was coming from. It was a great job by the running back, because you're taught when 2 blitzing linebackers come in, you abandon the play fake and block. But the quarterback, Brim, still continued his fake, not realizing pressure was coming. And Peter Tulloch was able to get the sack.
So 3rd and 24. Brim dumps it off. Michael D. Jones. Ankle tackled at the 15, 4th down. So between the 2 penalties, Jay, and the sack, that drive just went nowhere.
No, it just feels, and I struggle at times watching Bethune-Cookman because they try so hard to be balanced that they lose their identity. I mean, this is the team that runs the football very well, almost 200 yards rushing per game, but yet in this contest, they seem to be timid in establishing control of the line of scrimmage and establishing their run game. Maybe that has something to do with Anthony Jordan limping on the sideline as we saw him go out. but they are notorious for having a plethora of running backs.
Hayden Hogarth punting here and taking it to 44. Johnson down the sideline and steps out about the 43, so it's going to be very good starting field position for this drive for FAMU after the 42-yard punt by Hogarth and the return by Johnson. It's going to bring the Bethune-Cookman defense back onto the field, still without Eric Williams in this half. There's the targeting penalty on the Hampton game. I know, no question, Jay, that's the right call.
The 2 forearms and a helmet to the other helmet of the quarterback that was in that defensive position. So that happened in the second half of that football game. So by rule, he must sit out the first half of this Florida Classic.
Hand it off straight ahead. Up to the 40 goes Gerald Hearns for about 4 yards.
And Florida A&M is just, they have trouble running the football. I mean, you know, they only rush for 98 yards per game. That's in the bottom tier of all FCS programs, and you see why. I think what they have to do is go back to getting creative and running the ball, maybe those wide receiver bubble screens, get the balls to playmakers in space, because Bethune-Cookman right now realizes we only have 4 defensive linemen, and we've got big Rakeem Knight in the middle. They're not going to be able to run the football on us, so the linebackers are playing games in the secondary.
That was sophomore Tyshawn Holloway in it back with that last carry. Give it to him again, and he's met before the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose about a yard back at the 40. Ralph Williams and Jocelyn Borgella coming in to make the tackle. That's Eric Williams with a towel on his head, the impressive defensive end out of Fort Lauderdale, waiting for that second half so he can play.
And you talk about somebody having a great senior season. He's really emerged. Saw the 13.5 tackles for a loss. I mean, what do they call them? Batman and Robin. It's Richardson and Williams, and one of the best pair of bookends you'll find.
FAMU 1 out of 4 on third down so far today. 3rd and 8. Taken off. Fleming now going deep. That ball hanging up. Picked off. Marquise Drayton, the safety back there, as that ball was in the air a long time and picked off in the end zone by the safety Drayton.
It's been raining all day, and it seems like that ball slipped away. You almost wonder why Fleming didn't decide to set his feet. He throws the ball on the run. Pressure coming, but I thought he could have stepped into the throw off his back leg. That ball hung in the air for a long time, and Marquise Drayton comes down with the interception, but you can tell that ball was slippery and didn't have a tight spiral on it, causing it to lose some distance, and turnover, Florida A&M.
Drayton had a couple of picks last year, but that's his first of this season, coming in the big rivalry game here in the Florida Classic. So each quarterback's been picked off already.
And I've always laughed when you see defensive backs celebrate interception, because Drayton was beat. There was a wide open receiver behind him. It's just that case where Fleming couldn't get enough on the throw to complete the touchdown pass.
Well, for this third series, Quentin Williams now in at quarterback. They're going to use their second timeout. Why can't they get a play off in time? That is crazy. We'll step aside as well here. Late first quarter from Orlando.
Esurance was born online.
3:18 left, first quarter from Orlando. ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's, the 2014 Florida Classic. No score. Comes the Bethune-Cookman offense back onto the field. First 3 possessions, though, Jay, haven't gone all that well.
How do you spell ugh?
Yeah, I think U-G-G-H-H-H.
How about U-G-L-Y? Ain't no alibi. Yeah. It's ugly.
Nice rhyme, partner.
Yeah, they just can't get it going. And I still think they need to establish they can run the football. Versus a 3-4 defense with only 3 defensive linemen. You find a bubble, find a crease, and use the power running game.
Get Quentin Williams back in at quarterback. And the handoff only about a yard. What are you hearing down below, Tiffany?
Well, guys, after that last defensive series, defensive coordinator LaVon Kirkland went over to his defense and said, guys, great job. Remember, they're not going to throw the football, so he says as long as you contain them, keep them in the pocket, you'll be absolutely fine. Meanwhile, Coach Fuller said, Guys, you got to stop playing individual football and continue to play together as a team.
Where's Levon Kirkland? Great NFL career with the Steelers. After playing at Clemson. Williams flushed out. Now he's going to take off with it to the 30, and he'll have a first down. Up near the 33-yard line, run down by Sean Ward. But again, looking to throw, nothing there. Run at 12.
And this is good vision by quarterback Williams. He's looking, and the offensive line is holding on to their blocks. He finds an escape route, which you start to do when you don't like what you see downfield. And he was able to exit and pick up the first down. It's something that Levon Kirkland and also Chris Cash is acting as co-defensive coordinator. They said, we can schematically put our team in great places, but the players have to make plays. And when you have that 3-4 defense, you must work as a unit because you're going to be outnumbered at certain points.
Jump cut there by White. Michael D. Jones, that is, with the carry up to the 35, so pick up a 2 for the sophomore out of Sarasota, Florida. Big number 99, Jadarius Baxter for FAMU.
You can tell they're missing Anthony Jordan from this football game, because versus linebackers that are off the line of scrimmage, you want to have the ability to run downhill. You want to have your power back in there. Jordan weighs 220 pounds, and they go to Michael D. Jones, who only weighs 185 pounds. They lose the ability to have the power running game.
And Jordan came out after one of his last carries. Here's the pitch on the option. Jones out of bounds at the 41, a few yards from the first down marker. Keyshawn Butler, linebacker there defensively.
And that's a good call by offensive coordinator Jim Pry, realizing we can't force Michael D. Jones to run between the tackles. Let's get him some carries on the perimeter where he can make people miss in space.
We'll see how long Anthony Jordan is out. That's a significant development in this game for this Bethune-Cookman offense.
That's their first charge timeout of the half.
FAMU now uses their first timeout with 1:26 to go. A 3rd and 2 upcoming. They brought Danny Dillard in as the back for Bethune-Cookman. Let's take a look around the MEAC to begin with. North Carolina A&T a win, and they win the conference title outright.
Up 7-0 right now versus North Carolina Central. And regardless of what happens today, give head coach Jerry Mack credit for the job he's done in North Carolina Central.
And our FCS News and Notes, Coastal Carolina right now the #1 team.
Watch out. Liberty's a good ball club. They can pull the upset. Some people have Coastal Carolina ranked #1, others have #2. That's a watch-out game.
New Hampshire's been scoring a bunch of points. Jacksonville State's won 9 in a row for the Gamecocks.
Representing the OVC, Jacksonville State, and New Hampshire, the pride of the CAA this season.
As we saw, the Wildcats 1 of 4 on 3rd down, a 3rd and 2 and keeping, and the first down run for Quentin Williams still going. That pile continues to move across midfield to the FAMU 49. William Luke Helms, linebacker among others there on the tackle for FAMU, but Williams just kept on moving.
And look how many yards he's able to pick up after contact. Contact is made right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 8 yards after contact. That's a hard piece of running by Quentin Williams.
Hand off to Dillard. To the 47 for 2. The redshirt sophomore from Bradenton, Florida. Actually went to Venice High School there. No score in this game inside the final minute of the first quarter. FAMU missed a 46-yard field goal attempt. That's been the best opportunity for either to put points on the board. In motion comes Wilson. Play fake. Sacked. Williams. Terry Johnson, quarterback blitzing, gets to the quarterback and drops Williams for a loss.
Outside pressure coming. As a quarterback, you have to know if you're going to turn your back to the defense, there's another outside linebacker coming. Quinn Williams didn't read his cues and has a headache after a good hit by the linebacker core.
They're going to face a 3rd and 12 when we come back. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. The 2014 Florida Classic from Orlando. ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. The 2014 Florida Classic from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. No score as we begin the second quarter. Great to have you with us on a bit of a rainy Saturday here in Central Florida. Along with Tiffany Green and Jay Walker, I'm Mark Daly. Bethune-Cookman still holding out hope if they can get a win today and some help, which would include a North Carolina A&T loss. If they can grab a share of the MEAC title, they've won it the last 2 years, at least one, or shared it the last 2 years, and 3 of the last 4 they've won. Tiffany has more on the injury report for the Wildcats. Tiffany?
Well, guys, Anthony Jordan is in the locker room right now for Bethune-Cookman. You said there was something missing in that running game, and so he is being looked at with a left leg injury. His return at this point is questionable, guys.
Well, that's important news. Big news if he's unable to come back. A team that is so predicated with their running, averaging 194 yards rushing per game, to lose really the guy who's been their #1 runner. That is tough. 8th play of this drive here for Bethune-Cookman, and a 3rd down and 12 from their own 49. In motion, Wilson. Williams stepping up. Now he's going to take off. And with a slide is going to come up short of the first down by a yard or 2. Terry Johnson and Curtis Alexander were in the race towards that first down marker and prevented him from getting the first down.
Yeah, the problem with the 3-man rush, not a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And one of the outside linebackers gave up contain. What you may have to do is start spying Williams, seeing where he is, reading his eyes, not allowing him to pick up big chunks of yardage when he decides to run.
Now 4th and 1, they're at that spot on the field here where it would be an extremely long field. They're just going to go
surprised.
for it.
I mean, I think maybe that's because Anthony Jordan's not healthy to him. They have had trouble running the ball downhill. They've had to go sideways.
Yeah, they are going to punt. They thought about it. They barely got the playoff. Maybe they didn't. As you saw, Blanton was just going to take a look.
Game, offense, number 38, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And Coach Jenkins, he always has that look on his face like, what do y'all call it? What are y'all calling? I missed one where delay of games, that's an easy penalty call. If that clock gets to 0, that's a penalty.
And it looked like the punter, Blanton, had the option to either punt that, or if he saw something, was going to go for it on 4th and 1.
On 4th and 1, I think that was the opportunity. I was surprised they elected not to go for it, but you see Bethune-Cookman, they are still playing with the idea, but Florida A&M has a punt-safe defense on right now.
That's Cagle, the punter for Bethune-Cookman, and he's trying to pin him in. Didn't get a lot of leg in it, but gets a little help from the roll. And they're going to down it at the 16-yard line. Not pretty, but for the most part effective. Just a 20-yard punt, though.
Where's your pain?
Right here. Right here. Both elbows.
Take on the pain. Introducing CopperFit. Advanced cutting-edge compression garments designed to help relieve muscle and joint soreness.
Where has this been for the last few years? If I can put this to the rigorous test of an NFL athlete and it can work for me with all the joint pain that I've had, it'll definitely work for you. I pushed this product to the max and it performed great at every level.
Helps reduce swelling for faster recovery.
CopperFit has helped me a lot, and I've seen a huge difference. The pain I was having literally felt like someone was stabbing me in the knees. I had pretty much lost all hope. They said, you need to quit. It's not going to get better. I refused. To me, I feel really good inside, and I've accomplished something, and CopperFit has helped me do that.
The CopperFit high-performance compression fabric is blended with therapeutic copper, essential to your body. Two technologies combine to help provide support for muscle soreness and aid in recovery and performance, faster recovery, and guaranteed relief of muscle aches and pains.
I definitely recommend it to anybody to give it a try that has pain. I noticed that a couple of days after, it didn't really hurt. And I was like, wait a minute, is this real? This is very real. And just with the CopperFit, honestly, for the first week, I've noticed results.
Comfortable, lightweight compression sleeves, tough enough for any active lifestyle.
Construction isn't light duty. I couldn't pick up a gallon of milk. Within a few days of using the CopperFit, mobility in my arm was 100% better. It's almost like winning the lottery.
Don't make your body wait another minute. Call 1-800-620-6484 or on the web at getcopperfit.com. Get your choice of one compression elbow sleeve or knee for $19.99. Order now and you'll receive a second sleeve free.
Try the CopperFit and watch your life change.
Feel the relieving power of copper compression.
Quarter from the Florida Classic. No score between Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M. Now the Florida State Seminoles look to extend their unbeaten. Well, so far, Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, neither side has put together a lot of offense. The only decent scoring chance was the missed 46-yard field goal by Florida A&M's Chase Varnador about midway through the first quarter. This time the Rattlers begin their own 16. Handed off in the run for Tyshawn Holloway for just a yard or so. Ronnie Barrow with the tackle. Ronnie, a senior out of Brooklyn, New York. Bethune-Cookman, the defense under Brian Jenkins, has just gotten better every year. This from a guy who was what a whiteout in his playing days.
That's why I always give credit to their defensive coordinator, Charles Yogi Jones, one of the best defensive coordinators out there in the country. Does a good job of having his team prepared to make plays.
Brought down by Fleming on the run. He just throws it out of bounds. I should always say I can't cheat Brian Jenkins. You know, he was one of the best kick returners.
Yeah, Cincinnati.
He was good. I think explaining that is not intentional grounding. He was out of the tackle box.
Yeah, and Coach Jenkins left Cincinnati as the all-time leader in return yards. It's a good one, and I mean, really took over Bethune-Cookman by storm. You mentioned the program that had been down, and the job he was able to do year one, and he brings intensity to the table. You know, when you're down there in Florida, you know you have athletes galore all over the state that play good football, but if you get them pointed and going in the right direction, they can become dangerous, and that's what he's done with this Wildcat football team. Only is, what's his motto they have? You're only strong as your weakest link.
Fleming up to the 30. That's a first down run. Tackled by Joshua Richardson.
I think Damian Fleming is an underrated rusher. He has 4 touchdown runs on the year, but he's got 6'3", 215 pounds, nice size, nice delivery, but he's athletic as well. Good mobility. Calls his own number to pick up the first down.
It was a 13-yard pickup. First down, FAMU from their own 31.
You can see the safety for Bethune-Cookman paying extra attention to Brandon Norwood here on the bottom of your screen. That's the extra safety they're bringing over in coverage, respecting the freshman's ability.
Fleming going to cut it back. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Ronnie Barrow again on the tackle for Bethune-Cookman. Take a look at the play selection here for FAMU.
More balanced than we thought it may be, but some of those have been QB scrambles, which count as runs. But I'd say this, if you can't protect Damian Fleming right now, what's going to happen when Eric Williams comes in the football game? So if you're Florida A&M, I think the time to throw the ball is now.
And they've only targeted Norwood, what, a time or two. One of those resulted in a pass interference call that helped extend a drive. Play clock down to 4. Got it off in the nick of time and almost intercepted after it went off the hands of Alonzo Palmer Hicks, the tight end. And nearly picked by Drayton, who already has one today.
They're just trying to go to the check down, and Drayton been looking up. Ball hit him on his hand as he was coming up to make a tackle on the running back out of the backfield.
2 of 6 on third down. Came in at 36% on the year. Norwood again, the receiver at the bottom of the screen. Back in motion to the near side comes Kareem Smith. Fleming finds his target at the 36, but immediately wrapped up short of the first down. Will Williams tackled by Jeremy Davis at the 38.
We finally had a chance to look at the quick release from Damian Fleming, but it looks as if comes up a little bit too short.
Are they going to go for this here? 4th and 2 from their own?
No, you don't do this.
That's the second charge timeout.
So they use their second timeout, and they certainly had to look like they were serious about going there, but call a timeout on 4th down. Jay, why don't you give me 5 while we got a moment?
How about 5 things you need to know inside the Florida Classic, this football game here? I think you need to know it's portable. This game, these two teams would play each other whenever, wherever, no matter the location. They moved it from venue to venue, so it's portable. How about the Wyatt era? You can't forget the Alvin Wyatt era. He brought a lot of this rivalry back to the table. You can't miss halftime. Don't go anywhere. One of the best halftimes you'll see. And Rattlers strike, and they strike again. That's how they start off this game. And I think number one surprised everybody. It is by far the loudest HBCU game that I cover in the Classic era. And I'll also explain that second best after this punt.
So they are indeed punting, and Blanton, a high short punt, lands at the 28. And we'll take a FAMU roll inside the 25.
And when I say second best, I mean second best in terms of attendance. The Magic City Classic is number 1 for a couple years. This was number 1. Now they are the second largest HBCU Classic football game, and playing inside this newly renovated stadium.
It's still being renovated, we find out. Yeah, they've renovated most of it, but there's still some work in progress here at the Citrus Bowl. You and I did the MEAC SWAC Challenge to begin the year, and they actually had to move it across town to University of Central Florida because they were still working on the Citrus Bowl. We're the first event to get in here. Look at that scoreboard in the south end zone. Quentin Williams at quarterback for the Wildcats. Dillard slipped right after he took the handoff, and I think the knee came down in the backfield where he's being spotted at the 22.
And offensively, Bethune-Cookman, they've lost their identity. I mean, an offense that at one point in the year was averaging over 30 points a game. And it's the Florida A&M defense that gives up 27 points per game. But Bethune-Cookman cannot figure out the 3-4 defense right now. And give credit to the Rattlers. They must be playing defense at a high level to cause Bethune-Cookman to be this inefficient on offense.
20th offensive play of the game for the Wildcats. As you saw, 15 of the previous 19 have been running plays. After the loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Williams dumps it off to the back. There's Dillard on the edge. Breaks one tackle. Makes a move on the sideline. And he's up near the 34, close to a first down. Nice little run after the catch for the sophomore.
Yeah, fantastic job. It was going to take a great play from the linebacker to make the tackle in the open field. I mean, this is what you want. You have somebody there, but this is just who's a better athlete. And a great job by Dillard to make Keyshawn Butler miss the tackle in open space. There was a lot of room to make the tackle, but as a defensive coordinator, if you put your linebacker in that position, he has to have the ability to bring down the runner.
Came up a yard short of the first down, so it is a 3rd and 1 from the Bethune-Cookman 33. Handoff, Michael D. Jones easily with the first down before he's upended. Flipping across the 40 to the 41. It was Jules Dorneval who put the tackle on, but not before he picked up enough to move the chains.
This is just power nose running down the middle. Get 2 hats on the body, and Michael D. Jones with great recognition.
Now taken off to the near side, and it's a foot race to the edge. 35-30 down the sideline, out of bounds at the 20. Jules Dorneville ran him down. He was off to the races, a 39-yard gain. And there's the biggest play of the day offensively for the Wildcats.
And this is the running game we thought we would see. You take Michael D. Jones and let him run on the perimeter. Great vision as he's going to bounce his ball to the outside. Jones came to Bethune-Cookman as a walk-on, has earned himself some significant playing time, and now he's becoming a regular contributor for the Wildcats.
First down, Bethune-Cookman at the 20 of FAMU. They show blitz. Hand it off. Dillard straight ahead. That running game for Bethune-Cookman starting to show some life here, Jay.
What I thought we would see in the first quarter, just putting a hat on a hat, and they're going with their bigger back, Danny Dillard, 6'2", 225-pound sophomore. Just lower the shoulder pad level, get behind the offensive line of Bladick and Edward.
Keeping this time, running left. Flag does come out. The run by Williams, but let's see if this comes back. Our referee today, Andre Lowe.
Illegal substitution on the defense. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Too many men on the field, huh?
Yeah. I always judge how Bethune's doing when you start hearing that band play. You know, it's one of the largest bands in the country, and when they're active, normally bad things are happening to the opposing team.
So count that run all the way down to the just outside the 3.
Was the first down.
So it is first and goal. Bethune-Cookman at the FAMU 3. Michael D. Jones, the back. Jomo Gordon, the receiver, at the top of the screen. Handed off. Jones off right tackle, comes up about a yard short of the end zone.
Here you're going to see Jones. They're going with the zone read with Jones, and that's the change you have to make. When you have the big back in there, you can put a man on a man, but with a smaller running back, you have to slide your line from side to side.
Timeout, Florida A&M. That's their third and final timeout of the half.
We may see all 6 timeouts used before the first half ends. That's all for FAMU.
Women love men that are groomed to the max.
The 2014 Florida Classic, scoreless, 8:05 left in the first half, but Bethune-Cookman, a drive that began at their own 24-yard line, has gone 7 plays and 75 yards. They have a second and goal from the 1-yard line of FAMU, and a great chance to give this game its first points of the afternoon. Bethune-Cookman, their primary running back, Anthony Jordan, after a handful of carries, has come out with a leg injury. We've not seen him since. As Tiffany mentioned earlier, questionable his return to come back. So they need somebody else to pick it up. And at least on this drive, Jay, Michael D. Jones and Danny Dillard, especially Jones, have done that.
And they've started to utilize their talents better. Jones on the perimeter, and Dillard with a fantastic pickup on a screen, making the linebacker miss for the big play on this drive thus far.
Michael D. Jones is the back. Second and goal. Bethune-Cookman from the FAMU 1. Handoff. Jones leaping. He lost the football. It's recovered by Bethune-Cookman. They are very fortunate that Loomis was able to jump on it.
Tries to leave his feet. Helmet right on the football. They caught a fortunate break.
And a quick snap on third and goal, and he did not get in. At least not yet. Nope, short. And it's going to be 4th and goal from inside the 1, and the pushing and shoving continues, but the play is over.
It's already been signaled short, so there's really not a need for all the pulling. They're going to try and get a quick quarterback sneak in. I mean, the helmet doesn't even appear to be close to the goal line. It's not even worth a review.
All right, decision time for Brian Jenkins here. There's a player down for FAMU in the end zone. Rashad Guyton, a free safety. Well, while they attend to Guyton, looks like something on the left leg. This does give Brian Jenkins and Bethune-Cookman a little more time to consider their two options here. Which do you think they'll wind up doing?
I mean, although it's scoreless, you're on the 1 foot line, and knowing Jenkins' personality, it becomes, you know what, if we can't get 1 yard, we don't deserve to win. And also, he probably thinks they can't go 99 yards versus his defense. So I'd be surprised if they decide to maybe put Danny Dillard in the backfield. And typically they like to put Quentin Williams in motion, get him outside the pocket, give him a run-pass option. But I think in this situation, try and power the running game. A team that specializes in 3 defensive linemen, you challenge your offensive line to get you a yard.
Looking like the left ankle area, left lower leg of Guyton that the training staff of FAMU is working on. Out of Madison County High School. Putting a little bit of weight, pretty good amount of weight on that left leg, but just showing the effects of it. It's Terry Johnson, number 4. And teammate safety Peter Tulloch come over and give him a pat on his way to the sideline. So they're going to go for it. Bethune-Cookman on 4th and goal from the 1.
With Jones in the backfield, I would expect the perimeter run. Outside, I don't believe they're going to challenge him up the middle of the defense.
Also have Kerry White to the left of the quarterback. Here is the handoff. Jones going forward.
Yes, sir.
He is stopped. And the goal line stand by FAMU keeps this game scoreless.
But there's a trade-off when you lose Anthony Jordan or you take out Danny Dillard. Michael Jones, we talked about, he only weighs 185 pounds. Trying to do a read option and doesn't have the mass to follow through and get to the goal line. Look at the shoulder pad level of the black jerseys and able to keep him out. Maybe a larger back is able to lean forward, pick up those extra 6 inches that he's short. But Michael Jones does not have the ability to move the pile just because he lacks the physical size.
So Bethune-Cookman had basically 3 cracks from inside the 1, or at least inside the 2.
Yep.
And could not punch it in.
They ran the same play over and over. I mean, 2nd and 1 power, 3rd and 1 power, 4th and 1 power. What a stand by the Rattlers.
And a run here. Ooh, that looked like it was going to go for more for Holloway, but a nice tackle by Joshua Richardson. You know what's on my mind? We saw Bethune-Cookman a few weeks ago at Norfolk State, and they had 2 safeties in that game.
Yes. Their defensive line can do some damage. I think Florida A&M, I think now you run to the right side of your offensive line if you're going to run out. LeBrandon Richardson's over on the left. They have David Perry playing on the right side. He's 6'5", 265 pounds, a little bit leaner. May be able to get more of a push on him compared to going to the top side.
I don't see number 56, Ronnie Barrow, out there defensively for the Wildcats. He's the one that had the 2 tackles in the end zone, the 2 safeties at Norfolk State not long ago. Showing that they're coming after him. Throws it in the air, incomplete, and a flag. Which way is this going to go? Now, we'll see. It was Dantzler. Thomas Finney, number 8 on the coverage.
I don't like the call, period. I don't, if it goes on offense or defense.
Pass interference, defense, number 8. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
Well, called on Finney, the cornerback for Bethune-Cookman.
I mean, they were playing football. Fleming obviously had to rush the throw. I'm not so sure that the receiver knew where the ball was. And Finney almost had an interception. I mean, let's take a look. He's going to be rushed with the throw, and they're going to be at the top of your screen trying to get a release. Ball's thrown. I mean, completely behind him. Receiver had no chance at it. Running a slant route. That was a throwaway from Fleming.
Now here's a pitch and a reverse. Montavious Williams down the sideline gets some blocks, and he's all the way up to the 35. Brandon Richardson eventually running him down, but a long gainer.
I was nervous. He didn't feel the pitch cleanly, but coming around the edge, and watch Damian Fleming right side of your screen try and get Richardson down, and actually makes a nice block on Richardson. Richardson gets credit for the tackle, but it was mostly his leg that was able to almost leg whip the runner.
But you're right, Holloway almost fumbled that before giving it on the reverse to Montavious Williams. So after that long gain, it's a first down at their own 35. They were at their own 1 moments ago. In motion, now they're going to use the jet sweep for Williams. This play doesn't go as well. He's dropped for a loss back at the 31 by Tavares Dantzler.
The one thing that's remained consistent for Bethune-Cookman defensively over the years, team speed. I've yet to see teams run them from sideline to sideline. You can run downhill at them occasionally, but thinking you're going to beat them at the horizontal running game doesn't happen too often.
And before that jet sweep was tackled for a loss. You see their last 2 plays prior to that have been about half of their total offense in this game. 5 minutes to go, first half. No score. FAMU and Bethune-Cookman in the 2014 Florida Classic from Orlando. Fleming chased now. Dantzler putting on the pressure. I guess that pass was close enough to the vicinity of a receiver. And it's 3rd and 14.
They're not a chance. I mean, that's a screen pattern. You wonder why the tight end doesn't at least block him a little bit. The tight end's going out for a free release, allowing arguably the best tackling linebacker on this Bethune-Cookman team a free release to your quarterback. Quite sure that's not the way offensive coordinator Quinn Gray drew up that play.
2 of 7 on 3rd down and a 3rd and 14. Line to gain is their own 45. Fleming, as he throws, connects at the 41, but short of the first down. Dwayne Harvey with his first catch of the game, 10th of the season. And it's going to be 4th and a couple.
Punt the ball away.
Yeah, they're not going to act like they're going for it again, are they?
I wouldn't get caught up in the emotion. You dodged a bullet when they had the ball on your 1-yard line. See, I think this is an emotional decision right now. I think everything says you punt the ball and see if their offense can drive another 85, 90 yards on you.
4th and a long 1, call it 2. You know, they don't have any timeouts. 5 for 11 on 4th down, 45%. And they are going to go for it and snap it, and this backfires. Bethune-Cookman will take over on downs after a questionable decision by FAMU to go for it at their own 44-yard line.
And you run the ball versus a team that you had tough time gaining yards for. And I think that's one there is Fuller, an old teammate of mine from Minnesota. I think in that case there, he let the emotion get into it. He's an emotional guy. He's got to punt that ball, but what a stop by Bethune-Cookman, and both defenses doing a fantastic job early. 4th and 1, not in a rivalry classic. It's still a shutout for both teams.
Esurance was born online, which means fewer costs, which saves money. Their customer experience is virtually paperless, which saves paper, which saves money. They have smart online tools, so you only pay for what's right for
you. Call us today.
ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's, the 2014 Florida Classic. Scoreless, 3:56 left first half, but Bethune-Cookman takes over at the 43 of FAMU after the Rattlers went for it on 4th and about 2 and did not make it.
I think that's one where you put like a little bookmark. 3 minutes, 56 seconds to go in the game. Bethune-Cookman gets the ball back with the short field and great field position.
Williams to Jomo Gordon, who takes a quick seat at the 37 to catch that low throw. Gain of about 6. Bethune-Cookman does have one timeout remaining in case they would need it. They haven't thrown the ball a whole lot. Just the 5th time on that last play.
Considering that the first pass of the game was an interception, I'm surprised that they've even thrown it the 5 times. But I think now Williams has settled down and they may start to throw a little bit more.
And they do indeed. That should be enough for the first down. For the catch by Devontae Washington. Yeah, close. Yep, that's a first down.
So say be careful of Michael Jones out of the backfield. They can give him a little check down route. He can make some people miss and score in a hurry.
A run for Jones. Creaks through all the way to the 25. Pick up a 7 before he's tackled by Curtis Alexander. Curtis, a sophomore out of Quincy, Florida. Clock running, under 3 minutes to go in the half. A 2nd and 3 for the Wildcats. They send in motion Jamie Wilson. Hand it off. Jones hitting the backfield, is able to fall forward to get back to the line of scrimmage, but Sean Ward hit him a couple of yards deep in the backfield, but it goes for no gain.
And one of the strengths you have when you have a 3-4 defense that's 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers, quicker guys on the field. So if they can find a gap, they a little bit quicker than your defensive lineman, they can shoot the gap and you try and generate more tackles for losses behind the line of scrimmage.
A 3rd and 3 here. If they don't make it, is this 4-down territory, or do you try to get some points with a field goal?
The way they've been going, I think it becomes 4-down territory. They've been aggressive, both teams trying to get points on the board early.
Here's a blitz. Williams throws underneath and yes, caught. And a first down at the 14 to Devontae Washington, his 2nd catch on this drive.
And that was a good job by Washington, the sophomore from Jacksonville, adjusting to the ball, leaving his feet, and staying under control. This is a long throw across the field, but watch the adjustment. Go down and get it and secure the football.
Good catch, an 11-yard gain. Hand it off, running left. Michael D. Jones, can he turn that corner? Not quite. Steps out at the 10. Jules Dorneville, among others, on that defense for the Rattlers, chasing him to the edge.
This is what they're starting to do. Watch them bring the line around this way. All they have to do is show a little bit more patience, and there's a lane there, but he elected not to go with the crease. They're coming, stay right on the hip of 58, get to that 2nd level, and that could have been a touchdown run.
139 rushing yards now for Bethune-Cookman. Again in motion, Wilson. Flag at the snap.
Snap infraction. Offense. Number 62. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
From 2nd and 5 back to 2nd and 10. How about this? North Carolina A&T and North Carolina Central are tied. A&T with a win wins the MEAC championship regular season outright.
And the automatic qualifier bid that goes along with that one. So they need another 30 minutes to decide who will represent the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference in the 2014 postseason.
2nd and 10 at the FAMU 14. And another whistle at the snap. Or do you get a timeout?
Delay of game. Offense. Number 3. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Didn't get the timeout. You know, that's like 4 times they've either been hit for a delay game or had to use a timeout to avoid it.
In the old college football, you said that falls squarely on the shoulders of the quarterback. It's our job to get you in and out of the huddle, but these teams don't huddle. So that becomes a function of the offensive coordinator that's on the sideline. And I think what you have to realize is you see it there. If it's a quick whistle, you have to know the moment that clock touches 0, they're going to call it on you. They've been calling it tight all game, but Bethune-Cookman has not made the adjustment on something that's simple when you see the 25-second clock in front of you.
Well, you saw that graphic. Bethune-Cookman penalized 7 times for 47 yards. FAMU has not been penalized yet in this game. Williams. Nope, he came down out of bounds. Gordon caught the ball, but on the coverage, Dornival brought him down outside the field of play.
Yeah, that was a great job. Dornival's going to get his hand in here, and as he catches it now, when he comes to the ground, Dornival's poking it out, but a good job.
Yeah, he dropped it. He did actually get a foot in.
Yeah. So he's going to try and field it cleanly, but Dornival's going to manage to get his arm around there. Ball's coming out on the turf. You see the side judge there to see it right away.
3rd and 15. And both officials were right on top of that call on the sideline. Get the play off with 2 on the play clock, but then Williams throws it as he's wrapped up. They're going to call him that he's down, that they sack him back at the 25. Curtis Alexander with the sack of Quentin Williams.
Wow. And this drive, you know, they're getting pressure on the quarterback. They bring the blitz, but this is the drive that at one point was 1st and 5. And they weren't able to take advantage of it. They had the 2 consecutive delay of game penalties, and now they're forced to go for a 41-yard field goal.
From Ben Naboa, who's long this year, is just 24 yards. He's only 1 of 2 in field goal attempts.
Short.
Not enough. It was on target, but short. And it stays scoreless with just 36 seconds left. Bethune-Cookman misses a great chance to put up points.
For the student athletes of the Mid-East.
No score, 36 seconds left first half. Don't miss the crosstown rivalry that heats up out in L.A. The Bruins host the Trojans. Good. They've only made 3 field goals, the longest 29 yards. As you see, FAMU's going to be happy to send this to the locker room scoreless. With the 2 penalties and the sack, they basically took themselves out of their field goal range. You know, they missed a 41-yard attempt, which for a lot of programs is a makeable field goal, but it hasn't been for them this year.
And that's why I think you have to call plays based on what you have. And your field goal kicking has struggled all year long, not much leg. So if that's the case, you almost burn a timeout rather than take a 5-yard penalty. And you don't take 2 consecutive 5-yard penalties in a row. That being the case, you basically got penalties and you pushed yourself out of field goal range.
And that's the end of the first half. Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M are scoreless through 1 half of football in the 2014 Florida Classic. I'm stunned by this right now, Jay.
0-0. I don't think it's the way anybody imagined it, but both teams have to think. You're still 30 minutes away in a tie football game and beating your in-state rival.
You look at each team, they had chances for points, but all came up empty, and FAMU fortunate that going forward on 4th down at their own 40 whatever yard line it was did not come back to bite them late in the first half.
And the defense has made stands. I mean, give credit to both of these defenses. They've been dominated that way, and Florida A&M, I think, had the most impressive stand of them all, the goal line stand, which motivates the team. So it's going to be an interesting second half of football.
So no score between FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. And Bethune-Cookman has won the last 3 meetings between these schools. And Tiffany has coached. Tiffany?
Coach, 2 great opportunities to score there at the end of the second quarter. How do you get your offense to start clicking and doing what you've been doing all season?
I mean, we're clicking. They haven't stopped us. You know, the number one thing that's happening is and we're doing some team-inflicted wounds. You know, a couple outside penalties, delay of game stuff. I mean, they haven't stopped us. We've moved the ball right up and down the field. You know, and then we were on the inch line, and we had a mental error there on the blocking scheme. So, number one thing we got to do is settle down. You know, when we settle down and do what we do, we move the ball up and down the field.
You guys have seemingly had some problems getting the plays in. Is there any way to correct that at the half?
Yeah, we'll get that corrected. You know, it's a little bit on me and a little bit on the quarterbacks, but ain't no problem. We'll get it corrected.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck to you.
Coach Jenkins, Tiffany, thanks very much. I think the term there, team-inflicted wounds, the key to the offense for Bethune-Cookman as we're scoreless here after 1 half. Coming up on the other side of the break, the college football halftime report with Matt Schick and Kevin Carter.
Are you stuck with us?
Well, thanks to my partner a few weeks ago, I remember that the tube is also called the, what, sousaphone?
Sousaphone.
Sousaphone.
And the sousaphone playing little Teddy Pendergrass. Can't go no wrong, Mark. Can't go no wrong.
Oh, that's awesome. Welcome back to the 2014 Florida Classic from Orlando, along with Jay Walker, Tiffany Green down to the field. I'm Mark Neely. Crazy game so far, scoreless, but now let's get to the HBCU breakdown. And it begins, of course, in the MEAC, because right now we're in the last day of the regular season. North Carolina A&T is in the driver's seat, but that could change.
All eyes are on Durham, North Carolina right now between the Aggies and the Eagles. And Rod Broadway's done a fantastic job with North Carolina A&T. They've overcome adversity. They lost their starting quarterback. That's when they lost to South Carolina State. But they've been able to put it together towards the end of the year, string together some close wins. Very, very solid football team. But they need to handle their business today versus North Carolina Central. That game is tied right now. So who knows? The playoffs are still up for grabs.
Let me update you. They're down. North Carolina A&T is trailing 14-7 early in the second half. That could really blow things wide open.
Oh, wow, that would change things big time.
Well, in the SWAC, we know one of the teams that's going to play in the SWAC championship in a couple of Saturdays in Houston. That's Alcorn State. But who might their opponent be?
Well, it's going to be the winner of the Bayou Classic, but you have to give credit to head coach Jay Hobson and the job he's done at Alcorn State University. They've had a fantastic year. They're in the championship game for the first time in the modern era. Who's their opponent going to be? It could be Southern University. Head coach Dawson Odom has a solid football team. They like to control the clock, but it's going to come down to what Grambling has to say about it. They were the #1 team in black college football. Head coach Broderick Frog has brought respectability back to the G-men, but they're going to have to win the Bayou Classic if they want to make it to the SWAC championship game.
So today, the final day of the regular season. That means one more chance to impress. But who might some of the HBCU players of the year be?
I think if you look at the two conferences, they're going to have offensive and defensive players of the year. And I think in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, Tariq Cohn has been the class of this conference all season long. The explosive running back is phenomenal, one of the best in all of FCS football. He's a big reason why North Carolina A&T has a great opportunity to have a 9-2 season. You look at the SWAC conference, you have to love John Gibbs, a 6'6" Houston, Texas native. Has been the quarterback that stirs the green for Alcorn State University. He's done a fantastic job. All they do is win. On the defensive side of the ball, South Carolina State defensive lineman Javon Hargrave is one of the best interior linemen in all of college football on any level. And Grambling's had a good defense this year, led by linebacker Steve Orsakwe. They've got one more victory they need if they can get it done, but those are fantastic football players.
And that's our HBCU breakdown from here in Orlando. We'll take a break. When we come back, this scoreless game of the Florida Classic. We'll have the highlights from half number 1 and set you up for the second half. ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. The 2014 Florida Classic ready to head into half number 2. FAMU and Bethune-Cookman scoreless. Well, let's take a look at some of the key plays in our scoreless first half. It began with a couple of interceptions. First, Quentin Williams picked off by Akeel Blunt early in the first quarter, and then they turned the tables. Fleming picked by Marquise Drayton. It was a sack for Williams that helped stop a drive. Just nobody could find the end zone or kick one through the uprights.
Yeah, then I think towards the end of the first half was the key. Bethune-Cookman had the ball, 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. They were stuck. Quarterback sneak, stopped again. Then on 4th and 1, they elect to go for it. And Florida A&M defense comes up with another stop of running back Michael D. Jones to preserve the first half shutout.
Take a look at the first half numbers. Rushing yards dominated by Bethune-Cookman. The passing yards about even. Penalties all belong to Bethune-Cookman, and each team turned it over once with the interception. Well, we are set to go for half number 2. FAMU to receive the ball to begin the half. Kirtrick Evans back deep to receive the kick from Hayden Hogarth. Well, we're waiting because they have some scoreboard issues.
The game clock will be kept on the field.
So they have an issue with the clock on the scoreboards. They're showing zeros. They can't put up the 15 minutes, so they're going to keep the time on the field.
Because the bands ran like 5 minutes over. And so, you know, it's probably this new stuff that's digitized, whatever. The automatic sensor has to be reset.
And into the end zone. Evans will not run it out. They'll start at the 25. A few moments ago, Tiffany caught up with the FAMU head coach, Corey Fuller.
Coach Fuller, going back to your decision at 4th and 1 to go for it, do you kind of regret that or had an opportunity to let them score once more before the end of the half?
No, it was a wash. They went for it, we stopped them. We went for it, they stopped us. Only thing I didn't like was that we didn't run the play. I wanted to run quarterback sneak. We had them spread it out, sneak the ball right there, get in between the center and the guard and go for it.
Damian Fleming is the team's 2nd leading rusher. You said you were going to go with him all game long. Is that the game plan moving forward?
Yeah, we're going to stick with Fleming. We got some things, we just haven't got them in there. But they're a great defense, too. We expected this type of battle. So the second half, we got to just go do what we do best.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Fleming 4 of 12 in that first half, 31 yards passing. He also had 18 yards rushing. And carry up near the 30-yard line for Hearn, stopped by Ralph Williams.
And you mentioned, you know, 4 of 12 passing, 31 yards in the air. That's not the Fleming taking over a game. That's not putting the game in his hands. I mean, if you're going to put the game in his hands, he still has not found a rhythm in the passing game yet. So I think that has to be some concern for Florida A&M. They were shut out, and Fleming has not really had an impact on this game.
Again, issues with the clock. They're keeping the time on the field. We're scoreless here inside the first minute of the third quarter. Send in motion Mo Williams. And that jet sweep. Where does he turn the edge? Tackled at the 33 by Tavares Dantzler.
Now when you get in this 3rd and short yardage situations, Eric Williams has returned into this football game for Bethune-Cookman. You see him right there, number 43. He's got fresh legs. He's not tired. Maybe a wise move to, 1, if you're going to throw the ball, pay attention to where he is. Maybe slide your protection that way, double team. And 2, if you're going to run the football, I'd run towards the tired legs. That would be a run to the left side for Florida A&M.
3rd and 2. Play clock is at 6. They fake the jet sweep and the quarterback keeping it. And a first down run with some help from some nice blocking. Damian Fleming finally tackled by Dantzler.
And that was a great call schematically. You know Eric Williams is in the game. Look at the double team block you're going to see on him at the top of your screen. 1, 2 black jerseys there to seal the edge for Damian Fleming before Dams was able to bring him down after he picked up the first down.
And a key point there. There he is. Eric Williams could not play in the first half because of the targeting penalty called on him in their game against Hampton last week. So he is in the game and a very impactful defensive end for the Wildcats defense. So first down, FAMU at their own 46-yard line. We do have the game clock running again on the scoreboard. Just over 13 minutes. There we go. Quick pass, and that is a forward pass, incomplete, off the hand of Montavious Williams.
And you're seeing the sideline passes, but where are the deep shots downfield? When we saw Hampton and their freshman quarterback absolutely pick apart this Bethune-Cookman defense, they did a couple things that fundamentally were there. They moved the pocket. We're yet to see Florida A&M call a moving pocket to get Fleming away from the pass rush. And the downfield throws, we haven't seen many of them.
Fleming flushed out. He's sacked back at the 32-yard line.
That was Batman and Robin.
Richardson and Williams.
We knew that Eric Williams was going to have an impact on this football game, and LeBrandon Richardson has his cohort there, and that's what you want. You're not going to get outside these two bookends very often. They see the football, they lock in, and you see Williams chase him down, not allowing Fleming to get rid of the football, then LeBrandon Richardson there to finish it up. This is the special duo they have down at Daytona Beach.
Numbers on Eric Williams, grad student out of Fort Lauderdale. Richardson on the other side. Third down at 24. Quarterback draw. Fleming ahead to the 39. Held up there by Dantzler and Ralph Williams Jr. So 4th down and a little extra room for their punter, Colby Blanton. Frank Brown back at his own 20. Must have been some movement.
False start. Offense, number 34. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, now back Blanton up 5 more yards. After the penalty called on John Boston. Blanton boots it away. Another flag comes out. Taken at the 21, and a slip and the knee went down. Brown down at the 20. But the flag up around the 35-yard line. It was a 45-yard punt with no return. Let's get the call.
Maybe 2 penalties. You see 2 yellow hankies down on the field.
Holding on the receiving team, number 81, 10 yards from the end of the kick, 1st down.
So that's going to back Bethune-Cookman up. 11:17 left, 3rd quarter. FAMU and Bethune-Cookman scoreless in Orlando.
Each day you're forced to choose a side. Single-serve packs.
That is today's Bringing the Flavor, brought to you by McDonald's. From Orlando, Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M scoreless early in this second half. Bethune-Cookman, their first possession of half 2 comes up here. They begin at their own 10-yard line. Dillard straight ahead up to the 16, 17-yard line. Stopped by Keyshawn Butler. They've had chances to score, Bethune-Cookman. Turned it over on downs, the goal line stand, and missed the field goal.
And most of that was in the second quarter. They pretty much dominated the second quarter of play, moving the football up and down the field, but unable to capitalize and put points on the board.
Right back to Dillard, swarmed under for only about a yard. For the 17, for the 6'2", 225-pound redshirt sophomore.
The outside linebackers for Florida A&M are doing a tremendous job. It's number 6, Curtis Alexander, and 17, Sean Ward. When you play outside versus a team that their base staple is that zone read, you have to make sound decisions in the running game, and they've done a pretty good job of keeping quarterback Quentin Williams confused on his decision-making process.
3rd down and 3. Handed off. Dillard, a stiff arm helps him pick up the 1st down, plus about another 5 or 6. All the way up to the 26-yard line. Tackled by William Smalls.
This is a great opportunity for Danny Dillard to make a statement. He's the backup big back to Anthony Jordan. Jordan's a senior, Dillard's just a sophomore. In these type of games, this is where you create your legacy, create the type of player you are. You're taking on a Florida A&M squad. Your team needs the big running back. Good opportunity for him to step up and make an impact.
Anthony Jordan had 3 carries early in the game for 23 yards, left the game with a leg injury and has not returned. Williams brought down back at the 17. It's Michael Lovejoy, number 92, and Keyshawn Butler on the sack.
Dillard's starting to run the football, but if you want to be a complete back, you must be able to protect your quarterback. He was responsible for outside protection. He missed his blocker, and Quentin Williams was sacked.
Michael D. Jones now in as the back. 3 receivers to the left. Jomo Gordon, the receiver, wide right. The bottom of the screen. Williams hands it off in the delay. Jones gets away from one tackle across the 25 up to the 27-yard line. Peter Tulloch with the tackle for FAMU, but they had a chance to get Jones about 4 or 5 yards prior to that. Well, Anthony Jordan already out for Bethune-Cookman, and now Danny Dillard, who has come out of the game, being attended to on the sideline of the Wildcats.
These situations, obvious pass situations, they like to get the ball to Jomo Gordon here at the bottom of your screen, number 5.
They get the play off with 2 on the play clock, and he just delivers high, incomplete in the direction of Jamie Wilson near the 40. Peter Tulloch there defensively. So they pick up 1 first down on the possession, but now we'll punt.
And the way these defenses are attacking the offense, this is a game that very easily could come down to which team has the better special teams play, whether it be a pump block or some type of return.
A short punt down at the 35-yard line. So some decent field position for FAMU. When we return, Tiffany will tell us about some special visitors that have hit Tallahassee recently.
It happens in the parking lot. When you're parked on the street, a scratch can happen anywhere. And who has hundreds to pay a body shop? Well, now you can...
Corey Fuller in his 4th game as the interim head coach for the Florida A&M Rattlers, of course, a school based in Tallahassee, Florida. And Tiffany has more down on the field on some of the local connections that have been helping out, Tiff.
Well, when Coach Fuller took over in late October, he wanted to find a way to motivate his team, so he called in some reinforcement. FAMU Hall of Famer Ken Riley, and then Fuller's former defensive coordinator at FSU, Mickey Andrews, and the legendary ball coach, Bobby Bowden. Bowden shared with the group that he had a losing season in his first year with the Noles, but he reminded the team why they're playing, an opportunity to play for pride and build on the foundation for future FAMU teams. He said, you know what, guys, you got 1 win, build on that, make it 2 in a row, and gain some momentum going into next year.
Coach Bowden drop a couple of dag nubbits, and that's great. Thanks, Tiff. Here's FAMU now beginning this possession. Flip back, and it turns into maybe a gain of a yard or 2 after what could have been a 5 or 6 yard loss.
This is Williams. You know the pressure's going to come. They're trying to do a play action, but LeBrandon Richardson not fooled. He's going to be active. Good athletic play by Fleming to get rid of the ball, but a lot. You get the feeling when you see those numbers that when Bobby Bowden was there, they listened to coach a little bit, but the defense really listened to Mickey Andrews.
Yes.
Because the defense has been phenomenal. I don't know if the offense got the message.
That run for Tyshawn Holloway does go officially for 3 yards, so 2nd down and 7. And the FAMU 38. Fleming pressured again and sacked again back at the 25. Guess who got to him?
Is that Robin of Batman and Robin fame?
I've got to clarify that, who Batman is and who Robin is.
Normally LeBrandon Richardson is Batman and Eric Williams is Robin, but on any given play they can switch up. But in this case here, Eric Williams, I mean, look at him, just a great swim move, get to the quarterback. Have to do a better job protecting your quarterback in that situation, and that's a tough assignment for Patrick Dalton, just a freshman from Fayetteville, Jordan. You know, every now and then they say you're going against a grown man today, son.
And he had the first half off, so he's got some relatively fresh legs out there.
he does, and hits it. This is Eric Williams' final Florida Classic, so he only has a half of football to make up for lost time, so you knew that he was going to be motivated here today.
That's their first charge.
Play clock was running down, so FAMU uses their first timeout of the second half.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Well, coming up on Monday, Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens visit the Superdome to take on Drew Brees and the Saints. Monday at 8:15 on ESPN, and watch ESPN. No other night is Monday night. Well, speaking of the National Football League, of course, my partner Jay Walker was a quarterback for that 1996 Minnesota Vikings roster. Warren Moon.
Moonshine.
Then there's Jay Skywalker, Scott Sisson, and Brad Johnson. Robert Smith. And there's Corey Fuller.
Yeah, right next to him, Chuck Evans. But, yeah, those some good times there. You know, one thing about Corey Fuller, very competitive in practice. And I was the backup quarterback. Always had to stay after practice to throw to wide receivers. Fuller trying to get some extra work in. What are you chuckling at, Mark Neely?
I enjoyed the picture of the young Jay Walker. 3rd down and 18. Not much there for Holloway.
Well, you see Fuller on the sideline. I mean, we had a workout program there in Minnesota that once we got out, we all abandoned. See Robert Smith on ESPN. He's a little bit bigger than what you saw in that picture there.
Corey Fuller doesn't exactly look like a cornerback these days, but
he looks like a linebacker. Yeah. And what I say is, people say you don't like quarterback anymore. I say I look like a tight end. So I'm still fighting it. You know, they try to say look like a small offensive lineman. Like, no, I'm a tight end. Give me one position at a time.
FAMU punting. Blanton just barely got that one away. Fair catch called for and taken by Brown at the 35-yard line. A lot of emotion in this Florida Classic. Pounding their chest. Nobody's got any reason to pound yet, though, because it's scoreless with 5:23 to go in the third. No score, 5:23 left third quarter in this 2014 Florida Classic. Anthony Jordan, running back for Bethune-Cookman, had 23 yards on 3 carries early in the game, left with a leg injury. Last time we chatted with Tiffany, he was questionable on coming back. Has that changed, Tiff?
Well, guys, he was in the locker room during halftime in full pads, but he had crutches. That left leg injury will keep him out for the remainder of the game, and injuries is something that the Atlanta native has battled all year, really, in all his career with the Wildcats, so he is out of the game. And Danny Dillard's still on the sideline as well for the Wildcats.
Tiffany, thanks. So we know Jordan will not be back. That pass from Larry Brim to Jones is high and incomplete. You know, since Jordan left the game in that first quarter, they certainly miss him.
They do, because he was the game plan. You could tell he was already averaging over 7 yards a carry when he was in the game pretty much. And so that power running game compared to the side-to-side movement of Michael Jones.
Going to give Kerry White a try, and he's taking advantage with a run all the way near the 45-yard line of FAMU. Will give the 5'10", 200-pound senior a chance.
They just want bulk in there. You know, the ability to run in between the tackles. You're not going to arm tackle Kerry White, who at 5'10", almost 215 pounds, put together pretty solidly. So now his opportunity to step up, because you can tell the game plan was to pound the football, and they want the largest backs they can get in the football contest.
First carry of the game for White for 21 yards. Give it to him again, and knocks out a couple more. He's upended by William Smalls. Kerry White out of Tampa, Florida, Sickles High School. Can he be the answer for Bethune-Cookman?
Look at this formation. Both running backs offset of the quarterback.
Kept by Brim. Gets the edge. 35 to the 31-yard line. First down, Wildcats. Stopped by Jules Dorneval, and a 12-yard run for the quarterback, Brim.
This is tough because they have him bottled in. They do a good job of sniffing out this play, just unable to finish off the play, make the tackle on the quarterback. He's able to get outside and pick up the first down. Look at this. What do you call it? That's not a pistol. It's not a wing T formation. That's just a double offset I.
With Michael D. Jones and Kerry White. Give to White. Broke a tackle. Inside the 25 to the 24. Stopped by William Smalls.
Stick with the power game, and when they get in that offset I formation there, more times than not come across the face of the quarterback. So although it looks like a heavy setup to the right or to the left, more times than not, they're going to cross the face of the quarterback. So in this play here, I anticipate them doing the run action to the right side.
Indeed the case, and White, looks like he has the first down, indeed does, up to the 18 before he's held up by William Luke Helms. And another first down for Bethune-Cookman. They're marching as we get some more rain.
Yeah, and the rain's starting to get heavier where it can become a factor in the passing game. So they're going to stick to this formation until Florida A&M figures out what they're trying to do. You see the linebackers talking amongst themselves for Florida A&M. Stay in your gap.
Pitch this time to Jones. To the 10. Steps out at the 9-yard line. Make that the 8. Saw a little something different out of that formation that time.
They ran the option, and look at a fantastic block on the right side of your screen. Seal the edge right there, not allowed the strong safety to come up and participate in the run defense. That's the key block there that sprung Jones to the outside.
A 10-yard gain, close to it. It's second and actually a yard, less than a yard. So they.
Florida A&M is thoroughly confused right now defensively with their players talking to each other. This formation, they did not prepare for.
Brim turns the corner down the sideline inside the 5. He will have a first down, but he's out of bounds at about the 4. Run out by William Helms. But it's first and goal, Bethune-Cookman.
They haven't made the adjustment. The formation's giving them trouble. They set them up by running across the formation several times, and this last play was just a good old-fashioned quarterback sneak, quarterback sweep. That could have been Paul Horning or Red Grange running that play. That's been around in the playbook for decades.
Bad snap. And Brim gets lit up. Back at the 10 by Sean Ward, number 17. But it all really began with an issue on the snap.
And when he bobbles in free shot on the quarterback, make him pay. Ooh, that hurt.
First and goal from, or second and goal, that is, from the 9. Kerry White with FAMU defense misses a tackle, but it still winds up being basically no gain. Terry Johnson, Sean Ward eventually able to bring down White, but there's a player down, Ward.
Well, you know, every time Kerry White gets the ball, the game's going to become a little bit more physical. After running through a one-arm tackle, there's Sean Ward coming on the outside, and that was a lower pad level.
Here's the end of the play. Took a little friendly fire from his own guy, and then some helmet-to-helmet contact with White.
Coming off that, let's take a look at that shoulder. Look at that left shoulder. Oh, he comes right down on that left shoulder, I believe.
Yeah, it was the other player that took the helmet-to-helmet contact.
He absorbs so much. And that's a road teammate of Corey Fuller and I, and actually Corey Fuller's better friends on the Minnesota Vikings. Orlando Thomas used to always walk around the locker room saying, hey, same things that make you laugh in football, they'll make you cry in football as well. And we saw Sean Ward deliver a big blow on Larry Brim. Comes back his way, and now he gets punished a little bit.
Ward helped off, but let's see if he's able to return. They're coming down hard on that shoulder. But a third and goal upcoming for Bethune-Cookman. Drive started at their own 34. The 11th play of the drive coming up. The fourth drive of 8+ plays today, but have yet to dent the scoreboard. Neither team has scored.
Although it's fourth and goal, you have to play them to run the football. Brim is yet to throw a ball. I would not allow the young freshman to beat me with his legs. If he's good enough to beat you in the air, then so be it. But I think you have to focus on him running the football more as a threat than passing the football.
Gives it away to Jones. Touchdown, Michael D. Jones.
You had to know they were going to run the football. I mean, that was read option. Left him open, but how did he get so open? Good job by Romeo Wilson, the guard for Bethune-Cookman, clearing this hole right here. Watch the push that he's just able to generate here. You've got two linemen, two Rattlers lined up in the gap. Turns his man around. That's a great job by the senior from Cedar Bluff, Mississippi.
Point after up and good for Hogarth, that is, and it is a 7-0 game. Our first points come 1:16 to go in the third quarter. 5th rushing touchdown of the year from Michael D. Jones.
You see Jones able to go in untouched, and that's his style of run. He's the quick scat back. Everybody knew they were running the football except Florida A&M defense.
Well, let's update a few important scores. How about this? Central leading A&T fourth quarter.
Wow, for them to put up 21 points on that A&T defense, that's a good job.
You said earlier, Jay, it's a watch-out game for #1 Coastal Carolina, and they are beaten by Liberty. So the #1 team falls. Fordham, the #8 team, loses this weekend as well. They have fallen. Villanova won today.
Eastern Washington won. Jacksonville State plays later on. North Dakota State later. That's going to shake up the second rounds, the later rounds. I still think Coastal Carolina will host the game. I still believe, Fordham has a good opportunity to host the game, but now we're talking about them only hosting first round. And as you start moving later and later in the postseason, that's where home field advantage means the most.
A short pooch kick, fair caught at the 26th. You'll be there for the selection show tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And I mean, on the FCS level, they've been doing the playoffs for years, and they've expanded the field. It used to be a 16-team field. Now it's up to 24 with 4 teams getting first-round byes. And now you almost wonder, does this loss today by Coastal Carolina, does that make them not get a first-round bye? That would be something, because some of those teams that are trailing them, some really good football programs.
And how about what happens in the MEAC if A&T does indeed lose? That opens the door for a lot of different teams, including one here on the field today.
Yes, it does. Bethune-Cookman would have a chance, and so would South Carolina State, who's winning versus Norfolk State.
Fleming throwing on first down, too high, incomplete, and then almost picked. Dwayne Harvey, the intended receiver, and then Tyree Simmons saw that in the air and had to make a late adjustment, but couldn't quite get to it.
But I think now you live with your game plan. I mean, now you're down 7-0. Damian Fleming, who going into his junior year was the preseason offensive player of the year. You may have to keep an extra blocker in to protect him, but you have to live off his right arm and the decisions he's going to make.
He's a senior. He's never beaten Bethune-Cookman. Of course, you and I were here last year when he was hurt, couldn't play. Carson Royal, who's the backup this year, started that game. And Bethune-Cookman won it last year 29-10. Wildcats show blitz, back off. Now Fleming takes off up the middle to the 29 for 3 yards. Stopped by Ralph Williams Jr.
They just can't get it going. There was a miscommunication there. That was not a design run. That was supposed to be a wide receiver screen to the left side, but the receivers instead ran routes. This is what happens when you don't establish that rhythm on offense in the first half. Hard to pick it up in the second half. I give him a curl flat combination. They're playing off coverage. Call all curls. Just let him set his feet and settle down in the throwing and feel comfortable in the pocket.
Fleming going to take off. Can he run for the first down? It's going to be close. It'll depend on the spot. It looks like he has
Favorable
it.
Spot.
He got a very good spot with that slide. chased by Williams and Borgella, and it is a first down for FAMU.
I thought he left his feet a little bit earlier than that. They gave him forward progress on the spot.
So a first down, final seconds of this third quarter. We'll see if they get the play off. And they will not. But they do convert on 3rd and long and keep their drive alive. But we have our first score of the game. White helped set it up. Jones took it to the end zone. At the end of the third quarter of the Classic, it's 7-0 Wildcats.
Esurance was born online, which means
we're too alarmed right now, though. We begin the fourth quarter from the Florida Classic. 7-0 Bethune-Cookman leading Florida A&M with a first down from their own 38-yard line. The light rain falling here at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Great to have you with us, along with Tiffany Green and Jay Walker. I'm Mark Neely. Here comes Fleming on the move, and the throw is wide. The intended receiver, Brandon Norwood. I anticipated Jay sending a lot more targets to Brandon Norwood today.
They sold him pretty good to us, and not to take away from him, I think Bethune-Cookman recognized he was the most valuable weapon they had, the leading receiver for Florida A&M with 35 catches and 500 yards on the season. They've always kept a cornerback underneath on him and a safety up top. That's how you get respect as a player. When there are more defenders in the area to take away the one-on-one.
Norwood in motion, now sets up the wide right part of the formation. Fleming!
Face mask.
Gonna look like it, yeah. Now the referee throws the flag. Eric Williams may have gotten a piece of the face mask of Fleming.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 55, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Well, we talk about the protection. As a quarterback, you have a clock. 1,001, 1,002, 1,000. He's got to go before then. They're getting pressure to the pocket. Now there's a face mask on Eric Williams. But they cannot protect the quarterback right now. And that's one of the things when Earl Holmes is the head coach, he kind of said, we have to have a smash mouth philosophy because our offensive line wasn't strong enough. Now they do start 2 freshmen on this offensive line. And at this point in the year, they're not really freshmen, but the pass protection is spotty for Florida A&M.
9 penalties against Bethune-Cookman now for 72 yards. Quarterback draw on the run. Fleming straight ahead to the 39-yard line of the Wildcats. Ronnie Barrow coming up to make the stop.
How about some breaking news for you? If all the games were in right now,
with the score,
the way they are, Morgan State University will get the automatic qualifier from the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Because there would be, what, a 4-way tie?
4-way tie. And Morgan beat North Carolina Central.
Burns hit hard for maybe a half yard by Rakeem Knight, number 93. You know, Knight got more of a chance to play in the first half with Eric Williams having to sit, but Rakeem's like, hey, keep me in there, baby. I'm hot right now.
Then the run stuffer.
Big senior, 310-pounder. 3rd and short, a 3rd and long 2.
Well, this is the time where you run the ball with your quarterback.
Goes under center. A flag. He didn't get anything.
Ralph Williams, the senior linebacker, number 11, stepped up, had a good game.
Offside. Defense, number 93, 5 yards from the previous spot. The result of the play is first down.
Another penalty against Bethune-Cookman, and this one results in a first down for FAMU. Knight offsides. 10 penalties against the Wildcats. FAMU's been penalized 1 time in this game for 5 yards. So it helps the drive continue. Fleming rolling out, has a man open. There's the first catch of the day for the freshman Brandon Norwood, and a first down at the 17 of the Wildcats. Wrapped up by Richardson.
And this is what we thought we would see. Move the pocket, hit the curl pattern behind it. Hampton did this all day. Norwood was open for quite a while. Actually ran the curl route and started drifting with his quarterback. Those are the things that Hampton University did versus Bethune-Cookman, and that's the first time we've seen Florida A&M do it tonight.
Team leading 36 catch for Norwood, but his first of this game. First down. FAMU at the 17. In motion comes Hearns. Play fake. You better look out from the backside. He got away. And now take it off. Fleming. First and goal at the 5. That play could have been disastrous, Jay. He didn't see the blindside guy, but somehow avoided it and has a first and goal.
He's a better athlete than we give him credit for. This had nightmare written all over it. The free safety, Tyree Simmons, comes on a blitz, not able to make the tackle. Once a quarterback is unassigned in the running game, he can hurt you. Great job of escaping and then picking up good yardage, running, showing athleticism by Damian Fleming.
Well, look at Tyree Simmons. He left his feet like he was trying to strip the ball instead of just putting a hard hit on the quarterback. First and goal. FAMU trying to respond after the first points of the game. The last drive for the Wildcats. Again Fleming. That time nothing. Tyree Simmons makes the tackle.
We've talked about how strong Bethune-Cookman's defensive line is with Williams, and Rakeem Knight's had a great game, and Richardson, and we know about Danzel and Williams. If you want to score points on Bethune-Cookman, you have to test their secondary. That's what Hampton did. They will miss assignments. I don't think Florida A&M is going to have the ability to run the football in for a score versus Bethune-Cookman right now. I think they have to test the secondary. You've got an accurate quarterback. Move the pocket again.
It's been the best drive by far for Florida A&M.
Take a look up top of your screen, one-on-one with 6'6" Casey Glines.
Looking in that direction. Jump ball, flag. Did he get it in? No, incomplete. But we very may well have the pass interference call. That's Kirtrick, Thomas Finney on the coverage of Glines.
And I think Damian Fleming might have taken a shot. He's looking over to the sideline holding his shoulders.
Pass interference, defense, number 8. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
They got the matchup that they wanted. One-on-one on the outside. 6'6" wide receiver taking on a 5'9" defensive back in Thomas Finney. And Finney was not going to give up the touchdown. That's pass interference.
First and goal from the 2 for FAMU. Play fake to the end zone, leaping catch. No, incomplete. Trying to use that height. Glines, Borgella, and Simmons, Tyree Simmons on the coverage.
And they put him under center. They got the look they wanted. This is excellent placement of the football by Fleming. You want to throw it high where he has to leave his feet. Oh, he just can't secure the football. And you just have a feeling whenever Florida A&M's underneath the center, they can't run the football. Bethune-Cookman is just too strong for him. I think you have to spread out Bethune-Cookman, have your quarterback in a shotgun, and give Damian Fleming a quick run pass option.
Well, they got Glines at the top of your screen, one-on-one again, but they hand it off, and that goes nowhere. Nothing on the run for Holloway, stopped by Rakeem Knight and Donald Smith.
Yeah, they rise to the challenge or what? And they want this challenge.
FAMU had a great goal line stand in the first half that kept Bethune-Cookman out of the end zone. The Wildcats trying to return the favor. The 13th play of this drive coming up.
Taking a long time to get this play in. Move to the line of scrimmage, and you want to have the ability to check out of something in case you need it. But I would still put Damian Fleming on the perimeter.
Play clock at 2. You got Glines and Norwood at the top of the screen. There he goes, leaping into the end zone. Fleming, touchdown. And FAMU an extra point away from tying the game with 9:51 to go in the fourth quarter.
They said they were going to ride the arms and the legs of Damian Fleming, and nice hops right there. He got up and got vertical. Told you he's a better athlete than you think when you first look at him.
5th rushing touchdown of the season for the senior Damian Fleming, and the extra point up and through by Varnador, and FAMU answers. Remember though, this drive was kept alive by an offsides call that moved the chains for FAMU, and they make it hurt and tie the game at 7 with 9:51 to play.
Each day, you're forced to choose a side. Single-serve packs like K-Cups or ground coffee. But now you can have both with any Flex Brew from Hamilton Beach. Finally, a line of affordable coffee makers that easily brews a single-serve.
Quarterback Damian Fleming, the leading rusher today for FAMU. 14 carries, 48 yards, and his 2-yard rushing touchdown caps off the 12-play drive that went 74 yards in just under 6.5 minutes, and we're tied at 7. Well, how long did Melvin Gordon's single game rushing
played today, but
the number's the number. Pretty impressive.
Played enough to win. That's like I used to tease Ted White all the time. He broke my single game touchdown mark. You know, I threw 6 touchdowns in one half. He threw 8 the whole game. I didn't even play the second half. So the rest of my life that haunts me, and I'm sure Melvin Gordon's going to be thinking the same thing.
I still sense a little bitterness from the goal line. Brought out Nelson. Hit at the 15-yard line. On Monday, Joe Flacco and the Ravens are visiting the Superdome to take on Drew Brees in the New Orlando. Tied at 7. Bethune-Cookman now takes over with 9:44 to go. But the last drive for them, they went 11 plays, 66 yards. Kerry White with a big run, and the quarterback Grimm as well. But it was Michael D. Jones with the 9-yard touchdown run.
Keep in mind, it was that offset I formation that really gave Florida A&M trouble.
Don't come out at it this time, but Jones does get the carry up near the 18-yard line. Held up by William Luke Helms.
I think you put Kerry White back in the ball game just for the threat of the run on the inside. When Kerry White was in there, the threat that he could run the ball and run through some arm tackles made Florida A&M respect him.
Still 10 on the play clock. Brim option, pitches to Jones. It's a block on the edge from the tight end Henderson. And they mark about the 23. Peter Tulloch there defensively. Be about a yard shy of the first down. Well, Sean Ward is back for FAMU. That's a good sign. Came down hard on a shoulder on the last drive for Bethune-Cookman.
It's the Florida Classic. He's a senior. You have to do everything in your power to finish this football game.
3rd and 1. Grimm hands it off. Nope. Didn't get there.
Whoa. What do you do?
You got to punt the football, don't you?
You clearly have to, but not the intent. When they called that play, it was almost assuming they were going to pick up the first down. And
that's a huge
what a stop
for the FAMU defense. Yep. Bethune-Cookman, Jonathan Cagle on to punt. Devontae Johnson back at midfield. Came after it, and a low line drive punt makes a Wildcats roll all the way to the 30-yard line where it's down. 7:45 to go after that 47-yard punt. We are tied at 7.
Where's your pain?
Right here.
Right here.
Both elbows.
ESPN College Football, the 2014 Florida Classic, is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Chicken looking good. 7:45 to go, fourth quarter. Might we have overtime in this 2014 Florida Classic? Tied at 7. FAMU ball. Still a little light rain falling. Rattlers begin at their own 30-yard line. Fleming throwing on first down. Picked and a flag. Intercepted by Richardson. But let's get the call first.
It's going to be pass interference versus Bethune-Cookman.
Pass interference, defense, number 34, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Against Tyree Simmons, the safety. Boy, penalties are killing Bethune-Cookman, but that's nothing new for them.
And we say what happens when they get in tough football games, they normally come back and they affect you. And that's something that Coach Jenkins has not been able to get under control during his tenure there. And, you know, we ask him about all the time, and he says it's almost like you hear from his answer, he's not willing to trade off losing the aggressive nature of his teams compared to the penalties.
Penalized for nearly 100 yards now.
They haven't started the play clock. You know, this is eerily similar. Once Hampton stood up to Bethune-Cookman and earned their respect, Bethune-Cookman started getting frustrated. You start to wonder now, is that frustration starting to creep in for Bethune-Cookman now?
Fleming, quick strike to midfield. Immediately swarmed under there. Williams. Wow, how about this? A&T with a win would have clinched the MEAC outright. They lose, and now that sets up 8 different tie-break situations.
Yes.
South Carolina State is leading NSU in the fourth quarter. So if the Bulldogs were to win,
then Morgan State goes. Morgan State defeated Delaware State soundly 69-7. You got the feeling they knew something was on the line.
Fleming, strike first down at the 40. Dwayne Harvey. A lot going on in the MEAC as we speak with North Carolina A&T's loss. So Morgan State, North Carolina Central, maybe Bethune-Cookman if they win here, but they're kind of on the ropes. South Carolina State's looking good.
For Bethune-Cookman to make it, they need to win this football game and have South Carolina State lose to Norfolk State. If South Carolina State beats Norfolk State, the Morgan State Bears are going to the FCS playoffs. I never thought I'd say that in my lifetime. They were down and out for so long, and they're so close. That would be a shocker.
Fleming on first down. Has to get rid of it because he was in big-time trouble because you know who. Robin. That's Robin, right? Eric Williams?
He's Robin.
I feel bad calling him Robin because Robin kind of implies an underling, like the number 2 guy. It's hard to say about him.
Well, Robin does a great job, but Batman just gets a lot of the credit. So
okay, is that what it is?
Brandon Richardson has been kind of the focal point for this defense. But this season, Eric Williams, in my mind, has emerged as Robin. And, you know, sometimes it's not necessarily about who saves, you know, the damsel in distress. It's does she get saved? So that's the Batman and Robin story. And I think they don't care who gets the sack. It's just a matter of does the quarterback get hit or sacked.
I just want to know who Catwoman and where she is right now. Here's William Fleming going back to pass with time, but now that time elapsing, he falls forward for a yard or so to the 40. Eric Williams again in pursuit, and Fleming slow to get up. We'd have to stop the clock to a 10 to their quarterback. He's on a knee. They attend to Fleming, who's 7 of 20 through the air now. 61 yards. Well, Florida A&M tied this game in this fourth quarter. And we have 5:44 to play. As an important injury here, hopefully Fleming can continue. We'll step aside.
Define the fabric of a team. It's not selfish. It's not boastful. It's about many, sewn together to reach one common goal.
Well, Fleming off under his own power. He has to come out. The officials stopped the clock with 5:44 to go. So Carson Royal, who started this game last year, in fact, he started the last 2 games when Fleming was hurt, comes in. He's only attempted 21 passes, 8 for 21 for 64 yards. We're going to see him at least for one play here with a 3rd down and 9. So they can convert from the 41 of Bethune-Cookman. And Royal under pressure throws, hit as he throws, incomplete. Well, Brandon Richardson came right after Carson Royal. He smelled some fresh meat in the game and came right after him.
Hello, Mr. Royal. How have you been? I remember you from a season ago. You remember me? I'm Brandon Richardson. I got there in a hurry.
Well, they're going to attempt a punt here. We know how we've almost seen a couple block punts today. Brown is back near his own goal line. This Bethune-Cookman defense has blocked 6 kicks this year. Not close that time. Fair catch called for. And he lost it! Loose ball! And FAMU has recovered! Holy smokes! Recovered by Tyler Riley. The long snapper. The long snapper recovers the fumble.
And this is a fair catch with it. Drifts, bad things happen when you start to drift as a return man, and long snappers down there to recover. Could be the biggest recovery of his career.
The long snapper, Riley, a junior.
Right here in the middle of the screen. And watch that. He goes and he's chugging along. Run to the ball. They tell you to run to the ball. And look what I got. Surprise, surprise.
Fleming back out there. 1st and goal. Nothing for Tyshawn Holloway.
We said it earlier that we thought this game may come down to sound special teams play, and not able to field a fair catch ball cleanly has put Bethune-Cookman at a tremendous disadvantage with less than 5 minutes to go.
2nd turnover for Bethune-Cookman today. The other was the interception. Second and goal, FAMU from the Bethune-Cookman 8. Tied at 7. Clock rolling, just over 4.5 minutes to go in this Florida Classic. Looking for Glines. Throws to the end zone. A battle. Incomplete.
That's a lot of contact over there.
Finney on the coverage, number 8.
I mean, both players, but look, I mean, Finney is shoving them pretty good, pushing them away. I think if Glines holds his ground a little bit better, then you force the official to make the call.
Finney 5'10", Casey Glines 6'6". It's a 3rd and goal. FAMU 3 of 11 on 3rd down today. We do have a very good field goal kicker in Chase Varnador if it comes down to that.
We're going to have to waste a timeout.
Yeah, play clock down to 2 and 1, and they use their 2nd timeout. Big play coming up. South Carolina State has beaten Norfolk State by 10. So Bulldogs check. They have a win. So the MEAC right now, we could be looking at what, a 5-way tie, but Bethune-Cookman's in serious jeopardy. Right now we have a 4-way tie.
Yep. And from what I was given throughout the week, if it comes out to 5-way tie and it looks like that, then Morgan State goes to the playoffs. And give credit to head coach Lee Holm. I mean, when he took that job over, first-year coach, the Bears have never been in contention for MEAC title since I've been out of school. I mean, that's been, you know.
Hey, think about this, Jeff. Think about this. You know, Bethune-Cookman has won the last 2, shared and 3 of the last 4. If they lose this football game, they're going to finish 5th in the conference.
A team that is ranked in the top 25.
Or they could come back and win this game and finish tied and get a share of it. So that's how crazy it is. This is a huge play on 3rd and goal. Fleming from under center. There was a flinch that they didn't catch. And Fleming's in big trouble. Sacked back at the 12 by Ronnie Barrow.
You almost hope that you wish that they would call the flinch or the offsides, because that completely threw off the timing of the play and the line protection. But that's water under the bridge. They need to make this field goal. And you wonder why they don't call it. Right there, the receiver lined up in that position. He flinches and disrupts the timing.
Chase Varnador off the left hash. Sneaks it in the left upright. .347 to go, and a 29-yard field goal from Varnador has given FAMU their first lead of the Florida Classic.
When a small business needs to secure financing to do things like buy new equipment, purchase inventory, or
has now won the Florida Classic since 2010. They're up by 3, 3:47 to go in the 4th quarter. Well, the crosstown rivalry heats up as the Bruins host the. Well, there was a turnover on special teams. Brown coughed it up at the 5 on the fair catch attempt. FAMU turned it into points on the Varnador 29-yard field goal. Bethune-Cookman, though, has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Here's the return. All the way up to the 35-yard line by Drayton.
Now, here's what I always wonder. When you use a 2-quarterback system, who do you put in when the game's on the line in the clutch? Last week, when they lost to Hampton, they actually stuck with the Brim. This week, what do? And you have more experience with Quentin Williams. And once upon a time, he was your Larry Brim, your Mr. Florida, you're a big football player, and I think he's going with the experience now, anticipating they're going to have to throw the football.
Bethune-Cookman was leading this game when it entered the 4th quarter. As you saw, they've only lost 1 time under Brian Jenkins when they've led entering the 4th quarter, and that was a few years ago to South Carolina State. Quentin Williams with Jones in the backfield. Williams tripped up and dropped for a loss of a couple of yards at the 33.
And when you get sacked on 1st down, then you start making yourself throwing the football, which is shocking, because now if they're going to throw the football, you would think Williams would stay in the game, but now they bring in Brim on 2nd and long. This is weird. Look, this is Akil Blunt. All the way out here, he's their best linebacker, leading tackler. They're more worried about his coverage skills in the passing game right now. He can run like the wind.
And he had an interception early in the game. Wide open across the middle. Jones, 1st down up near midfield. I mean, there was nobody around when he made that catch.
I believe Florida A&M's dropping too deep right now in their pass coverage. With a 3-man rush that gives the offense time to go through your progressions, and you can also sneak your running back out into the route.
Clock restarts after they move the chains. If you're thinking game-tying field goal, that's been a weakness for Bethune-Cookman. They've only made 3 field goals this year. The longest being 29 yards. Almost intercepted. Terry Johnson.
the leader of the secondary, he jumped the route. He baited it, and he had Brim thinking he had more of a cushion than he could. He anticipated the short route, and once he looked that direction, he was thinking interception all the way.
Which wouldn't have ended the game, but it would have gone a long way in getting it there had he picked that off.
Right now, I think you call a play where you allow Brim to drop back, wide splits with the offensive line, and maybe try and sneak Michael D. Jones out of the backfield again. You run clear out routes to get the ball to Jones.
Timeout, FAMU. They use their last.
That's their third and final timeout.
The 2014 Florida Classic coming down to the wire.
What a statement this has been for Florida A&M. I mean, these kids have been through so much. I mean, rightly or wrongly, how they got here is what they've had to deal with. And you see the series, this has been very much a one-sided relationship since they started this Florida Classic all time, but they've been swings, and Bethune-Cookman's dominate as of late. But going back to, McCoy Fuller there, and, a lot of the people in Tallahassee very upset with the way Earl Holmes, the alum, was let go. I mean, and I agree, you don't fire a coach during football, during homecoming. But you allow the coach to leave during homecoming after they won 2 out of 3, raised a lot of questions of concern, but give credit to the players. They've stayed focused, and they're out here trying to do something that they haven't done in 3 years.
Brim, pump fake, pulls it down, throws, he's got his man! Incomplete. That ball tailed on him a little bit, going for Jomo Gordon. And the throw took him out of bounds.
Double move to the outside, quick pump fake, and get it there. Now what you have to do is you have to reset your shoulders quickly in order to prevent that ball from drifting. He carried out the pump fake a little bit too long and wasn't able to recover in time to keep his receiver in the field of play.
3rd and 10, and what is obviously 4-down territory right now for Bethune-Cookman with 2:23 left.
Route. Run across the route underneath the coverage.
Brim steps up. He's going to take off. This is a race. He's going to be really close to the first down. He's going to be missing it by about a half yard, but obviously on 4th and short, they would go for it anyway. Let's see where the spot is. I think he's a little short.
Yeah, about a yard short.
So it's going to be 4th and about the length of a little bit more than the length of the football.
Florida A&M should be crowding the line of scrimmage. Their linebackers are playing off too much.
Give it to Jones. Oh, barely. He's still on his feet. There he goes. Brim inside the 20. First down, tackled by Peter Tulloch.
Showing athleticism. The young freshman, he hasn't completed a pass on this drive, but it's been running. The opening pass, the check down. But otherwise, it's been all him. Just making people miss in space. And what a great job he's done getting his team down here on this side of the field.
And convert on 4th and inches. First down just inside the 20. Carry for Kerry White. Stopped by Keyshawn Butler, number 56.
And they bring White in, and I'd look for the option play coming to the outside. Bethune-Cookman gets a look where they can run the option play with Brim and Michael D. Jones. That would be their preference.
Clock running, just over a minute to go in this Florida Classic.
There it is.
Pitch, Jones tripped up. Jules Dornival.
What a gutsy call. They actually gave him a look to say, we're going to make it look like we have the option open to you, and they brought the cornerback on the blitz. Perfect play call.
Brim is down.
Cash.
Larry Brim down. Going to his stomach. So the quarterback Brim on his back. Clock stop with 53 seconds left. To keep Brim in the game, they would have to use a timeout here, and I think they've used the timeout anyway, using their first of the half. Now, if it comes down to a potential game-tying field goal, that's Hayden Hogarth, whose long this year is 29 yards, which is also a career long. He's a freshman out of Ormond Beach, Florida. Having used the timeout, if Brim is able to continue, he could stay in the game, but with what we're seeing there, would they bring in Williams anyway? Bethune-Cookman charged with the timeout with 53 seconds left.
Let's see if they learned a lesson on their play selection here. Last time they're here, they had a couple penalties, delay a game, then they took a sack. I think you have to run the ball with Kerry White on a low-risk type of run. Cannot afford to lose yardage here, because the field goal kicker doesn't have a strong leg.
Quarterback Quentin Williams showing blitz, FAMU. Here they come.
You have to get rid of it.
Williams has time to run, but then tackled at the 15. It's going to be 4th down and about 6. And Bethune will use another timeout. Terry Johnson and Sean Ward caught up to the quarterback Williams.
Yeah, I would have been so cautious about the risk of losing yards, particularly with a blitz. I would have thrown the ball quickly away. I would not have chanced my quarterback running the football. So you have to be thinking 1,001, 1,002, get rid of it. You shorten the count. Because if he gets tackled right there on the 25-yard line, they're pretty much out of field goal range again. So they were fortunate.
You're looking at a 33-yard attempt here, which would be a career long. But in the big picture, Jay, a 33-yard field goal is a very makeable field goal. But again, field goal kicking has not been a strength for Bethune-Cookman this year.
No, they do not have a field goal over 30 yards in the season, and he only has 2 makes.
And this is a 33-yard attempt to try to send it, not officially to overtime with 44 seconds left, but for all intents and purposes, probably could. Hayden Hogarth, true freshman, out of the hold of Larry Brim. For the tie. On its way, and it is good. It's 10-10 with 39 seconds left. A career long for the freshman at 33 yards.
Good for him. Came up short on a career long earlier. But what a drive by Larry Brim to get them in field goal range. Not an easy angle on the far right hash. Had to put a little draw on it.
No problem.
He split it right down the middle. That's clutch.
So it's 10-10. And barring something dramatic and unforeseen, this 2014 Florida Classic is looking at overtime. 33-yard field goal has tied this game up.
Right now, Florida A&M, you have to set up your best return, because you just, with no timeouts and less than 40 seconds to go, options are very limited what you can do offensively to try and score some points.
Hogarth kicking off with Kurtrick Evans back along with Devontae Johnson. And he squibs it, taking it to 12. On his feet, 40. Up to the 46-yard line. Boris Johnson
Decent return.
30 seconds left. They don't have any timeouts remaining, however. That could be a big issue. Hard to work the middle of the field here without any timeouts. On the other side, I mean, their field goal kicker has some range. Chase Varnador, as long this year, is 53 yards.
So, they have the ability. If you're going to attack the middle of the field, you have to do it early. And let's not forget, this is college football. Every time you get a first down, the clock stops for a little while.
Yep.
So with a senior quarterback like Damian Fleming, he knows that. So if you're going to throw the ball in the middle of the field, it has to be downfield at least 10 yards so the clock can assist you by stopping.
Fleming steps up, throws, and that's picked. Thomas Finney with 23 seconds left.
Casey Glines was wide open and he lost his footing. And that's the result of that interception. Great job by Damian Fleming of stepping up in the pocket. I mean, he's going to buy some time. They're bringing pressure. Watch him step up, keep his eyes downfield. He's throwing the ball. Receivers open. And Glines loses his footing, can't stop and make that catch. That allows Finney to get the interception.
All right, now you're Bethune-Cookman. You do have a timeout remaining. Each team's now turned it over twice. Second time that Fleming's been picked today. But you're going to have to get this ball basically, inside the 25 quickly to even give your kicker a chance, even though he's probably on as high as he's been all year, Hogarth. And a timeout.
Oh, now you really sacrifice any chance or any thoughts you had going forward. Trying to move the ball, trying to win this game in regulation.
Looked like they were going to run the football anyway. North Carolina A&T beaten today. They had the chance with a win to take the MEAC outright. Now it's it's crazy. But looking like Morgan State could be the team to get the automatic bid.
Yeah, from what was sent out from the conference throughout the week about playoff scenarios. And I think there were 6 scenarios in which, this would all play out, and Morgan will come out on top in 2 of those scenarios. Those have both taken place, but I'm sure the folks from North Carolina Central thought with their victory over A&T they would go, and they had the tie-break scenario in 4 of those situations, but it's not going to happen.
Well, look at total yards. Way in favor of Bethune-Cookman, but we're looking at overtime in the face here, rolling out. Out of bounds. It's Washington at the 42-yard line. 17 seconds left. Yeah, they do have 1 timeout remaining. Jomo Gordon at the top of the screen. Take a shot deep downfield at least one time here with him.
Move the pocket again, and if somebody comes wide open, throw it to him. Otherwise, get rid of it.
Out at midfield to Jomo Gordon. 8-yard pickup. 12 seconds left. You've still got to gain about 25 yards to give yourself any legitimate chance at a field goal.
But if you're Florida A&M, you do not come out of your coverage you have right now. They're playing off with their corners. If they want to complete 5-6-yard passes, you will let them do that. Just try and do a better job of tackling them in bounds.
Williams. That ball nearly picked, but only 4 seconds left. It was Keyshawn Butler. Keel Blunt there. There's 4 seconds remaining, and all that's left is to maybe just take one deep shot here and get us ready for overtime.
Quinn Williams has a strong enough arm to get the ball to the end zone. That's the first thing you have to analyze if you're going to take a shot at the end zone is, does he have enough arm strength to make it down there? He has plenty of arm, so I think they're going to take a shot at the end zone.
But the play clock's at 1. They're not going to get the playoff. So that's going to be a little further.
Offense, number 3, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That's not the first time that's happened today for Bethune-Cookman.
Now with that 5 yards added on, you have to say, does he still have enough arm strength? I think he does, but now he really has to step into the throw. So you have to protect pretty firmly up front. So he's got to step into it.
And then we're going to go to overtime after the completion to Devontae Washington. Overtime in the 2014 Florida Classic. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. FAMU 10, Bethune-Cookman 10 at the end of regulation.
Are you stuck with a slow computer? Thanks to internet clutter, junk files, and viruses. Well, my...
Ready for overtime? I hope so. Buckle up. The 2014 Florida Classic tied at 10. Bethune-Cookman and FAMU. There's a FAMU player down. Not for us to tell a number, but it's right in front of the Florida A&M sideline. Now, just to brush you up on the overtime rules, we'll have the coin toss. For the choice of offense, defense, or end of the field, each team gets a possession from the opponent's 25. You have to go for 2, starting with the third overtime.
And I think in terms of which side or which direction you choose to go, Bethune-Cookman has a real large band. And they're going to the right. So I think if you're Florida A&M and you don't win the toss, then you want to go away from those guys. Take them out of the game, the emotion. And the White Hats, they're a noisy bunch.
Well, that player down was Jules Dornival, who does get to his feet now for FAMU. That's significant. He's one of the cornerbacks, and a good one at that.
This is a tails. You want offense, defense, or which end of the field? You want defense? Which end of the field? Okay. You want defense? That side. You want defense? You want that side. Bethune-Cookman won the toss, and they will go on defense.
A little surprised that Florida A&M elected to go towards the Bethune-Cookman band.
Right, which when Bethune-Cookman won the toss, Joe Gordon said that they wanted to play defense, which is the obvious call. Yeah. And then he also tried to pick the direction of the field, and it wound up going that way anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe a little psych job there.
So Florida A&M will have the first possession beginning at the 25-yard line here in the first overtime of the 2014 Florida Classic.
Offensively, Bethune-Cookman, what do? You go with Damian Fleming. I think he's your running game. He's also your passing game. Shore up your protection. You may have to sacrifice a receiver in the route just to protect Damian Fleming. And I think for Bethune-Cookman defensively, I think you want Batman and Robin to do their job at the defensive end position, but don't be surprised if you see Tavares Dantzler come on some sort of blitz from his outside linebacker position.
Play fake, Fleming, quick strike. Hearns inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Gerald Hearns, another first down. Picked up about 12.
Great play call. What they're going to do is isolate Tavares Dantzler. If he wants to come and bring pressure, then Fleming will see it with that little quick flick of the wrist. I'd go back to that play to make Bethune-Cookman show that they can defend that simple read.
Here comes the rush to the end zone, incomplete. Joshua Richardson, number 22, with the coverage.
Yeah, they went with the same type of play, but this time Fleming decided to try and stick the skinny post in at the goal line. Almost got it there. I still think the decision to throw the ball to the flat would have been an easier throw and would have picked up more yardage, but not afraid to go for the end zone.
Going after Brandon Norwood, going towards Brandon Norwood on that play. Play clock's down to 8.
They need to get in and out of the huddle.
They better hurry. They're not going to get this play off.
I'd call timeout. You cannot take a penalty in this situation. That's a good job from the sideline.
Timeout. FAMU. That's their first charge timeout in overtime.
So it's a situation where you see Corey Fuller going over and talking to the offensive staff. He's telling them what I want. You know, this is where, as a head coach, you know, you earn the extra digit on your pay scale and the pay salary. You go in and you tell them to give you exactly what you want in this situation. And by that I mean you don't necessarily tell them what play call you want, but you tell them what you want, whether you want to throw the ball to the end zone or whether or not you want to run it to set up possibly a field goal try in the middle of the field. And these are those things you only get better at by game situations. You tell your players to get in and out of that huddle.
Tied at 10 in the first overtime.
I think they're going fade route down to the bottom of your screen with Casey Glines again, the 6'6" wide receiver, this time matched up against Joshua Richardson.
Fleming going towards the end zone. He got him. Did he hang on? Yes, touchdown.
What a throw.
Went to Jeremy Davis. And you're right about the throw. Threaded in there by Fleming between a couple of defenders. And FAMU has scored a TD in the first overtime.
They saw the look that they wanted. Almost a little fake rub route. They gave the impression that he was going to block. Didn't make contact with Richardson. Able to sneak by him.
A flag after the point after. Put up by Varnador.
Oh, they ran into the kicker.
A penalty I'm sure they will deny unless they really feel like they can try to go for 2 from the 1-yard line in the first overtime, and I don't think so.
Running into the kicker. Number 9. That penalty is declined. The try is good.
Let's take a look at that touchdown again. You see they protect the quarterback. Fleming makes a quick decision, and that back shoulder, he was the only one that can get it.
His first touchdown catch of the season comes in the first overtime on the throw from Damian Fleming.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, Fleming hasn't been in this position in a while. You mentioned earlier how he didn't play last year's game. Let's take a look again how he was able to get open. This is a good one. They're going to use a 6'6" wide receiver as a decoy. He's going to come here. They're thinking the block, and he's just going to keep going.
First play of the overtime, and a tackle for loss of Michael D. Jones by Trevor Bone.
The 2-quarterback system, what are we thinking? We're thinking, hey, they may have to throw the ball at 2nd and long. Right now, Florida A&M, you're thinking do not allow Larry Brim to run the football. Force him to pass it, force him to complete a pass in this ball game.
Brim, they come after him. He gets away and throws it away. Well, they about had him back at the 35-yard line.
So they're bringing the pressure on the outside. Nothing gets outside, but the problem is Akili Blunt gets too far upfield and allows Brim to step up and get rid of the football. When you have a quarterback that's mobile like Larry Brim, you can't come in there 100 miles an hour as a defensive end. You have to stay under control.
Bethune-Cookman knows they need a touchdown. They need to make the 15 for a first down. Deep drop. Graham fires, tipped, incomplete, and it's going to come down to a fourth down play for Bethune-Cookman.
Coach Jenkins trying to find a hot-handed quarterback. Larry Brim trying to throw the ball over the middle. 3 black jerseys in the way of that throw. All comes down to this for Bethune-Cookman.
They don't need a touchdown, but they need to make the first down, with the line to gain being the 15. 0 for 2 on fourth down today. Brim has him. First down. First and goal at the 1. Jomo Gordon. And a huge play keeps the game going.
The blitz did not get there. They brought the inside linebackers. You see Sean Ward coming, Akili Blunt, all those guys were coming. They did not get to the quarterback in time. Great job by Larry Brim, hanging in the pocket with bodies flying around him, and he throws a perfect pass to Jomo Gordon.
Confusion for the substitutions for FAMU. It's a first and goal.
Illegal substitution. Defense, 12 men on the field. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And it showed the confusion. They had too many men on the field. Oh, frustrated Corey Fuller, whose team was 1 play away from ending this game. Now, Bethune-Cookman 1 play away from probably sending us to a second overtime. The lead. Dillard stopped. They mark him down. A little more pushing and shoving there at the end of the play. They better be careful.
And there was movement prior to that snap. Fortunate nothing was called, but trying to leave his feet, and a great job coming underneath by William Helms. 52. He timed it up just right.
He almost got in.
On the field,
we're going to look at this.
The runner will stop short of the goal line. The previous play is under further review.
I think we saw the best look on that last replay right down the goal line, but he did come up a little bit short.
Take a look, and I like the job by Helms getting underneath number 52. He times it up, bam, right on the football.
Yeah, nothing there to overturn the call.
Clearly didn't cross the goal line. This angle here. Bam, timed it just right. Well, that's a good thing, because if Dillard takes one of those leaps where he sticks the ball out first, I'm pretty sure Helms would have knocked the ball loose.
It's still going to be just second and goal from the 1.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Second down.
Larry Brim making the play on fourth down. Remember the goal line stand in the second quarter.
Do they have one more in them? I think you fake the run. I think you fake the run, and you have Brim fake it up the middle, try and run outside, if not throw it away.
Yep. He's in. I thought he was in. They're saying he's not.
I thought he was in too. Where did his knee go down?
They may take a look at this one.
I like the play call, except I just think if it's not there, you maybe have him throw it away. And they're not going to call you for illegal man downfield because you're on the 1 yard line. The Florida A&M has this play.
The previous play is under further
I mean, they have it
review.
sniffed out perfectly. They've got black jerseys there, but he cuts on a dime.
Oh, he was down right there.
Wow.
Yep. I don't think the call's going to stand.
He's down. Yeah, the bottom is down.
Now, you can't see the football, but that means you can't overturn the call. So it's going to be a 3rd and goal from inside the 1.
I like the fake. They don't give him the run outside. He makes, wow, imagine if he'd have slipped there. He's able to gain his traction and down right there. That's a good look. Ball's going to be probably about the half-yard line, I'd say.
So they should confirm, or at least say that this call stands as well.
Tell you what, this may be the 2nd best game in terms of attendance for an HBCU Classic, but in terms of excitement, between the Magic City Classic, which we saw, which was phenomenal, and this one here, what a fantastic season it's been in HBCU football.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The 3rd and goal.
And that's when you like replay, because as you and I called it, we'd have given them the touchdown right away, and it would have been harder to overturn the touchdown call.
Right.
Let's give credit to those officials down there on the field.
And they've done a nice job. Andre Lowe, the referee, and his crew today. 3rd and goal from inside the 1. We're in the 1st overtime. Florida A&M scoring a touchdown on their possession. So Bethune-Cookman knows they have 2 tries if need be. They've already tried it a couple of times. 3rd and goal from inside the 1. Dillard stretching it out. He is going to find the end zone. Touchdown.
That's not an easy call to make. I mean, giving the ball to a running back running sideways, the stretch zone play down on your half-yard line. If he's tackled, if they catch on to this play at all, he loses 3 or 4 yards. But a good job of getting on the blocks and able to go untouched into the end zone.
Well, what are they going to go for 2 here? Or are they just going to make it look like it?
Would they really? Going for the win.
Here they go. Mims! Bethune-Cookman wins it! Larry Brim! What a gutsy call by the Wildcats! (18-17). Bethune-Cookman wins it on the 2-point conversion from quarterback Larry Brim.
Touchdown by Bethune-Cookman. The previous play is under further review.
Wait a minute.
Well, they have to review all the scores, and it was close, but they got the formation that they wanted. And one thing we know about Brian Jenkins, his personality is aggressive. I think he got in.
He's in. I don't think there's enough there to overturn the call on the field that he converted it.
He's in. It was close. Look at the great block. And Keely Blunt caught him, but that knee looked down. Wait a minute.
But from
I
that
want to see that one again.
But from that angle, can you tell where the football is?
It looked like that knee, from that angle, what I just saw, it looked like that knee was down before it got into the end zone. I mean, he wasn't even on the white line.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The try is good.
Wow, it's over. What a gutsy call by Brian Jenkins, and Bethune-Cookman wins it, which means a 5-way tie atop the MEAC regular season.
This is look I want to see right here when you slow it down by the end zone. Watch this knee goes down now.
But I think he's in.
You can't overturn it close enough. That's a touchdown. I agree. That's a touchdown all the way. What a gutsy call.
You're not kidding. And what a football game, partner, this 2014 Florida Classic.
It's been a phenomenal season, and the football, congratulations Morgan State, congratulations Bethune-Cookman on continuing to dominate Florida A&M in this rivalry in recent times.
They win their 4th in a row over FAMU. Coming up next, 30 for 30, one night in Vegas. For Tiffany Green and Jay Walker, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks so much for sharing this with us. Bethune-Cookman wins it in overtime.